Good evening and welcome in to tonight's broadcast here at Maryville High School. As tonight, your ALCOA Tornadoes face the Rebels of Maryville. I'm Heath Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel bringing you tonight's call. And Scott, it is an absolutely gorgeous night for a rivalry football game.
Definitely is, Heath. 72 degrees, comfortable, a light breeze. Starting to get a little darker, the lights are on, and this is perfect for football.
And Scott, why don't you tell us, as we begin this, for those who maybe don't know as much about this, a little bit about the Battle of Pistol Creek tonight.
All right, well, the Battle of Pistol Creek showcases two of the best high school football teams that Tennessee has to offer. Between the two, there are 39 state championships, with Maryville having 17 of those and ALCOA 22. The most recent games played between these two teams came down to the closing seconds in both 2022 and again in 2023. In these games, it was the visitors walking away with the victory in the 94th Battle of Pistol Creek played at Maryville in 2022. In the closing moments of the game, with Maryville driving into ALCOA territory, looking to take the lead, ALCOA's Jordan Harris intercepted a Matthew Clemmer pass on fourth down and takes it 85 yards for a touchdown to seal the deal for the Tornadoes. The final score there, ALCOA 27, Maryville 14. In 2023, with the game tied at 21-all, Maryville's Hudson Jamerson kicks a 27-yard field goal as time expires, giving Maryville the victory Battle of the Pistol Creek, and comes away with a 24-21 victory in that one. So the last two games have been tight, tense games. We're ready for another one tonight. Hopefully a little bit more cushion for ALCOA, though.
Well, and Scott, the last 2 years, the visiting team has won the football game. I was telling someone earlier, let's keep that trend going tonight. Let's break it next season.
Exactly.
But, Scott, ALCOA comes into tonight 4-1 for the season, 1-0, or in 2-0 now, actually, in region play. You take a look at Maryville, 8-0 for the year, 4-0 in conference. There's two common opponents between these two teams. Number one, Bearden, number two, West. ALCOA beat Bearden 24-22, then beat West 28-10. Maryville beat Bearden 62-28, beat West 35-14. That Bearden game was a really lopsided score for the Rebels. However, from all accounts, and Scott, I wasn't able to watch the game, but I believe you saw some of it, and I've heard from other people as well. I believe Bearden gifted them a few touchdowns to begin the game with some bad fumbled snaps.
Oh, yeah, they did, and before you knew it, because both of the fumbled snaps occurred deep in Bearden territory, giving Maryville excellent field position and able to just make quick drives. I think one was one play, the other just took a couple of plays. But before you knew it, Bearden's looking at a 28-point deficit.
Well, ALCOA comes into tonight's game averaging 33 points a game, allowing 15. So over the last 4 games, the Tornadoes have held their opponents to 14 points or less per game. And during this time, they've played 4A powerhouse, 5A powerhouse, and 2 regional opponents. ALCOA also, Scott, looking to avoid their second loss of the season, the first time they've lost 2 in a season since 2017. Taking a look at the Maryville Rebels, the Rebels 8-0, 4-0 in conference play, averaging 40 points a game, allowing 10. They locked up the Region 2 6A championship with a big win over Cleveland last Friday night. But, Scott, let's take a look first. I'll let you kind of dive into it a little bit for us. Who are going to be some of the key playmakers for the Tornadoes tonight?
Well, as every week, steadily is Eli Graff. He's so far 69 completions out of 96 attempts, 897 yards passing and 11 touchdowns. But you got to watch him on the ground, too. 60 attempts, 418 yards. And surprisingly, one pass actually was deflected. He caught and took for 15 yards. But Eli is a tough guy to play against because he is a competitor. Another one to watch for is Micah Jones, running back, 72 attempts on 379 yards, 3 catches and 22 yards so far this year, 6 touchdowns. And then you also have the most, or one of the most dangerous players, the Michigan recruit, pardon me, Eli Owens, who has 20 catches, 281 yards so far for the Tornadoes. These are guys that you got to watch because they are ready to play every game.
Well, Scott, you talked about some of the offensive playmakers to look out for tonight. Also keeping an eye for some of these defensive guys who've been making plays for the Tornadoes this season. Darius Sutter, the sophomore linebacker, leading the team in tackles with 30.5 tackles so far this season. He's got a half a sack, and he's also got 1 tackle for loss. Safety Micah Jones also comes into today's game with 22 tackles. Taking a look at the Maryville Rebels side of things and some of their key playmakers. Quarterback Will Jones, 105 completions on 135 attempts, completing 7% of his passes for 1,339 yards. He's averaging 12 yards a pass. He's got 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He can also run the football. 47 attempts, 330 yards, averaging 7 yards a carry, and has got 4 touchdowns as well. He'll be aided in the backfield, too, by running back Parker Davis. 145 attempts on the ground, 828 yards rushing, averaging 5.7 yards per carry with 15 touchdowns. He's also got 18 receptions for 203 yards, 11 yards per catch, and 3 touchdowns. So 2 playmakers for them on the offensive side of the ball. Defensive side, Matthew Covert has really been the big playmaker for them. 54 total tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 safety, 1 blocked field goal, and 1 defensive touchdown. He has literally done a little bit of everything. So he's going to be the one guy, I think, defensively, if you're ALCOA on the offensive side of the ball, that they're going to really have to watch out for tonight. Kind of like Jack Keith in the West game, and try to keep things away from him.
Yeah. He is very hard to control anyway. Another thing that ALCOA needs to do, and they've done a great job on it so far, penalties. 31 for 248 yards. Maryville, though, is 41 for 366. So, you know, it looks like Maryville has a little bit more on that than ALCOA does. Let's hope that ALCOA keeps it under control.
Yeah, and it's something I feel like they've progressively gotten better at as the season has moved forward. It was something early on that plagued them some, continue to improve. But, Scott, this is a really good ALCOA team that comes into tonight. And look at it, you know, it's one of the games that they are, other than most games you see this season, considered the underdog. So not something you see very often with the Tornadoes. They've got something to prove tonight, and you've got some seniors who are certainly ready to go out on top, and they probably look back on and relive those memories of their sophomore year when they won on this very field.
Oh, yeah, exactly, Heath. And another thing to keep in mind, the only team that we've lost to so far this year was a 6A school.
Mm-hmm. And that 6A school was loaded with senior talent. I believe there was at least 20-something seniors that I was told was on that roster. And Ravenwood defeated ALCOA the first game of the season. Tornadoes really took a lot from that game and were able to build upon it moving forward. And, Scott, I've really liked the development of this team throughout the year. And we had a great talk on Wednesday with not only Darius Sutter, but also Coach Nix on Tornado Live as we had a pep rally at Black Horse Pub and Brewery. Certainly appreciate them allowing us to be there and be able to host that event. It was an incredible event. We had a really good turnout. Cheerleaders were there. The drum line was there. And so we appreciate everyone who came. We also appreciate those who maybe weren't able to come, but were able to kind of tune in and check it out online as well. But it was great talking to Coach Nix and just kind of talking about trying that they stay together throughout the game, but just making sure that they limit turnovers, they take their time, and that they don't try to get everything back at once if a problem happens, and not try to push the ball down the field too quickly. Like, be methodical, take your time, don't try to get everything back in one play if you make a mistake. Just be able to take that play, move on, and move to the next, and have that mental fortitude in a game that's going to need it.
Yeah, Heath, and pardon me, even the Ravenwood game, we had the chance to come back or at least make it very interesting. Just an unfortunate interception there late. We could have brought it within 3, and it's just one of the things. But, you know, the next week we had Bearden, and we faced adversity again, being by 1 really late in the game with just seconds left, basically, and ALCOA was able to get a break and get a field goal and walk away with the win.
Well, we talked about that, too, with Coach Nix, about how some of those big-time games earlier in the season really have kind of sharpened this football team and made them a better team, learned from those things, and kind of moving forward. And one of the things he talked about, especially with a young group, is you can say a lot of things to these guys, but until they've kind of been through it, then they start to realize what you're telling them really kind of sits in and matters. And so that we break before, or they break before we will mentality was something maybe they hadn't experienced as much. That Bearden game really kind of showed what Nix was talking about, and I think those players have started to live into that as the season has progressed. And when adversity hits, the Tornadoes don't back down.
Exactly, Heath. And it looks like Maryville has elected to receive. So we're going to be getting started here in just a few moments as both teams prepare to come racing out. So while we're waiting on that, we'll take a quick look. Heath might have covered a little bit. We'll do it again real fast. Region 2 3A, Kingston's 3-0, Alcoa 2-0, Union County 1-1, Austin East 0-2, and Scott 0-3. Important games coming up for them, as well as Kingston is off tonight. Union is at Austin East, and Scott is at home against Pickett County. That's a non-region game.
Well, Scott, here come the Tornadoes racing out onto the field as they're getting ready to get things rocking and rolling here in just a moment. He talked about the region games going on in the area, also Blount County teams as well as Greenback at Sunbright, Eagleton playing Hampton at ETSU. Now, Scott, that ball game, it's called the Clash of Compassion. Free admission, donations will be taken to support the schools and families affected by the floods in Upper East Tennessee.
Oh, that's really
so
nice.
A really cool event for Eagleton tonight. Heritage at Knox Central and William Blount hosting Saudi Daisy.
Yeah, two important games for both them teams as they're both regional games. Also on the slate tonight in the area, Oak Ridge is at Lenore City, Loudon at Signal Mountain, Sevier County at East Hamilton, Pigeon Forge at Gallenberg Pittman. That's going to be a great game to watch. Northview at Greenville, Oneida is at the Kings Academy, and Seymour travels to South Doyle.
Well, Scott, now both teams take the field, and the Tornadoes getting ready to kick it away. So it'll be Maryville who will be receiving. The Tornadoes will get the football to start the second half. It was kind of hard to tell what was going on. We asked a few other people up here. I think what happened is the Tornadoes won the toss and deferred to the second half, and that is why the Rebels will be receiving to begin this ball game. All right, so Kyron Tyson got the football, and now he's gearing up to kick it away. Back to receive for the Rebels, number 3, Jackson Llewellyn, number 6, Britton Barrett, and number 12, Colton Faust. There's the kick, and it's go time in the Battle of Pistol Creek. They'll let that one go into the Maryville end zone for a touchback, and now the Rebels will come out on offense.
Yeah, one of the things that Alcoa really needs to do today is their defense needs to be really careful, not get at least tricked or fooled with Davis. But you also need to come out strong. That's one of the things Alcoa struggled just a little bit with, getting the defense started early. But once they get started, they are tough.
A bend, but don't break mentality is really what we've seen a lot of from this Tornadoes team so far this year. Sometimes giving things up in between the 20s. Coach Nix talked about that the other day, but then buckling the screws and tightening them up as you got closer to the end zone. Want to see that they can improve upon that here in this first drive. As Will Jones gets the snap, Parker Davis gets the handoff. Right there waiting for him is Carter Cowart, and bringing him down for the tackle.
Good first play for Alcoa defense, rating King.
So a good read by Cowart, and it is now going to be 2nd and 9 for the Rebels. They come out of the huddle. They're going to have trips to the right, single receiver to the left, and Parker Davis behind Will Jones in the pistol formation. Will Jones comes up, talks to his offensive line, calling things out, making some necessary adjustments. Tornadoes have 3 on the defensive line. Behind them, Darius Sutter, Eli Owens at linebacker. There's the snap. There's the handoff to the left side. Cutting around the left tackle and coming up to make the tackle is Damari DeBose. It's now 3rd down. Looked like for a minute there, Scott, he had a gap and he was able to pick up a couple yards, but DeBose got inside of the receiver trying to make the block and was able to plug it, make the tackle, and now force a 3rd and about 4 situation.
Yeah, and DeBose also, he had the receiver and kind of forced it to where he couldn't go on the outside. He had to cut it back in, and when he did, is when he got in there and helped seal it off.
So here we go now, 3rd down, 3rd and 4 here on the first drive for the Maryville Rebels. They've got 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left of the formation. Will Jones comes up and calls things out again after taking a look at what the defense gives him. In the pistol he goes, Parker behind him. There's the snap, there's the handoff up the middle, and he's going to be brought down. Jameer Turner right there waiting for him.
Yeah, and ALCOA pumped on that one. They got on that quick, sealed that deal up really fast. Darius Sudworth also on the play. Now it'll be 4th down and 5 for Maryville as they're going to punt away.
Scott, what a great way to start this ball game. A 3-and-out for the Tornadoes defense, giving their offense an opportunity to strike first. Jacoby Cooper back awaiting the punt return. There's the snap.
Watch him.
They'll roll out to the right, thinking about going for it, and they'll finally get it off. In a high and tight spiral, Cooper's going to call things out, move out of the way. It'll now start to move east and west, so the Rebels come up and grab it.
Yeah, smart play, Maryville. Almost waited a little too late, though. The punter was running around the end, just kind of waiting to see if anything was going to clear out for him that he could run. Once the linebacker for ALCOA turned around and saw him, charged up towards him, and he got the punt off just in time.
Well, and Scott, if I was Maryville, I'd almost think about that again and talk to that punter and say, hey, had you not waited as long, you might have been able to go for it on that right side, but he allowed the defense to figure things out and kind of recover. So now the Tornadoes have the football. Eli Graff gets the snap. There's the handoff up the middle. There goes Micah Jones. To the second level he goes, and that's a Tornado first down.
Good start for Jones right there. No one wide on the play for Maryville as he helps bring him down, but not after a first down for the Tornadoes.
Great run by Micah Jones, and Scott, this offensive line on that first play creating a really nice hole for him to run through. 1st and 10, ball at the Maryville logo on the 50. There's the snap. It's now a quarterback keeper. Eli Graff takes off. He gets past one, almost past another. They'll shoestring tackle him. He'll fall forward, and I think he's going to be just a yard or 2 short of that first down marker.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be about 1 yard short. A good 9-yard gain there from Graff.
2nd and 1 for the Tornadoes. Ball on the 40. Graff in the huddle. Tornadoes come up to the line of scrimmage. You've got Cooper and Abu Hanya out to the right. You've got Jameer Dean off to the left, and Eli Owens split off to the left side of the offensive line. Micah Jones in the backfield. Micah Jones will get the call. Bounces off a great block by Eli Owens. Another move. He's to the 20. Gets up past the tackle, bulldozes ahead to the 15 and out of bounds. And Scott, right now, it just feels like these Tornadoes are finding holes, and Maryville's having to go after him and try to catch up to him.
Yeah, and that was great moves. Two really good moves from Jones as he looked like he was going to cut in, kind of looked like a little slow stutter step, and then bounced it quickly outside, then turned around and did it to another back as well.
Well, credit to Eli Owens. Eli Owens kind of led the way and sealed off that defensive end and allowed Jones to be able to bounce that one outside. Now faking the jet sweep, it's going to be Eli Graff on the keeper. Eli Graff gets up the middle. Maryville closes it quickly after a couple of yards. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, the offensive line right now is just opening some holes up for the running backs and the quarterback as well, as they're able to get in there and get something.
The refs blow the whistle for a moment, looking like they're trying to get everything set, and now we're ready to go.
The Maryville players trying to get lined up, I think, turned around and didn't realize and accidentally moved the ball, and they had to get it reset.
This time it'll be a handoff to Micah Jones. Maryville that time is able to get through the line of scrimmage and make the tackle. So a good read by the Maryville defense. Nothing doing there for Micah, and I believe he lost a yard on the play.
Yeah, Maryville putting a little bit more in the box there, trying to stop that run.
It's now going to be 3rd and 7, so a loss of 1 for Micah Jones. 7 minutes left to go here in the first quarter as the clock continues to tick. Eli Graff gets the call from the sidelines, gives it to his huddle, and the Tornadoes come out. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right as Owens is split off next to Jameer Dean. Graff gets a snap, he'll drop back, look down the field, see some pressure, and he'll take off with it. Graff now still thinking about passing. No, he's going to take off. There he goes, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Tornadoes. Eli grabbed Scott as he rolled out of the pocket after evading the initial pressure, kind of pulled the ball back up, making it look like he was still thinking about throwing. And as he did, I think it froze the Maryville defense long enough for Graff then to tuck it, go, and have enough space between him and the defender to get to the end zone.
Yeah, I didn't know whether or not he could see him. It was either Cherry or Cooper that was back at the back of the end zone open.
Kyron Tyson will kick. That kick is blocked. And that one really, Scott, was kind of muffed from the jump. Tyson kind of jumped. There was no false start call. Then the snap was low. Chase did his best to try to get it up in time. But by the time he got it up and Kyron kicked it, Maryville was already through the line of scrimmage. So they do block the extra point. But after the defense forces a 3-and-out on their first drive for the Rebels, the offense for the Tornadoes answers, takes it down the field, and puts up the first points of the day.
Yeah, Ethan, just something, too, to think about. Hopefully this doesn't return or come back history in that scary part anyway that we had. But in 2022, Maryville blocked an Alcoa extra point.
Well, something to be mindful of, but now if you're the Tornadoes, you've got a little bit of momentum. What I love there too, Scott, is because the offense was able to create a really nice drive, they gave their defense an opportunity to rest on the sidelines. That's going to be another key to this ball game because you've got a 6A football team versus a 3A football team. A lot more depth on the other side of that field. And so some players might have to play both ways, but for the players that don't, you want to do the best you can to try to give them an opportunity to rest because you're going to need them to be able to last 4 quarters. 6:35 left to go in the first quarter. 6-0 your score as the Tornadoes are on top. I believe because we are a televised game tonight, we are just awaiting a TV timeout to end before you see both teams make their way back out on the field. So that's just a little bit of the delay you're seeing. But Scott, as we're waiting for that delay to be over, that first offensive drive for Alcoa, other than 1 or 2 stops there, it felt like for the most part, every play, the Tornadoes were having a lot of success against this Rebel defense.
They were, and they were really, I think, surprising Maryville with their speed. I don't think that they realized that even though this team doesn't seem to have the speedsters the other ones have, that these guys are still fast.
Well, the thing is, too, you've got a Maryville Rebel team that averages 10 points allowed per game against their opponents, and the Tornadoes already have 6 on the board. So Tornadoes starting things off early. Also really was impressed with that first defensive drive as well. Jameer Turner, Carter Coward, Damari DeBose making those tackles that forced the punt, but they were having their way too where Parker Davis really didn't have any holes.
Yeah, they did an excellent job. I was taking a look real fast. Graff on that drive, 3 carries for 29 yards or 30 yards, and Micah Jones 3 carries for 33. So doing the brunt of the work, but the end result's what it matters most.
Well, and keeping it balanced, making Maryville have to guess who's going to have the football. So a lot of different players.
Well, kind of like, well, you got a running back, quarterback, so do we.
Well, and the other thing, too, and Coach Nix talked about this Wednesday, Scott, is he credited Eli Owens, and I have to totally agree and give him a shout-out. As he said, he may not always have the stats on paper, but Eli Owens does so many things that affect the football game. That block to allow Jones to bounce to the outside and pick up about 15 to 20 was huge. There's the booming kick from Tyson. This one may be returnable. No, he's going to catch it around the M in the end zone for Maryville, and that'll be another touchback. So 2 booming kicks for Tyson to start the game, and now the Rebels will come out on their second offensive drive.
Yeah, I'd like to see a good opportunity here and see if Maryville's made any adjustments or if they're going to keep trying to do what they normally do with the running back and quarterback. But Alcoa's defense playing great. We'll keep the excitement up and let them be ready to go.
I'd continue to remind your defensive backs to keep your eyes in the backfield and watch that running back bounce into the outside. That was really kind of the only play where they were able to pick up multiple yards. And Scott,
false start.
I love it as Alcoa
and you remember what I talked about.
Alcoa started to send a blitzer, and that was Janaris Henry, known as Man. He started creeping up to the line. That left tackle saw him out of the corner of his eye and jumped early.
Yeah, and we talked about in pregame too, Heath, Maryville with 41 penalties. Alcoa with about 31. So
not the way you want to start your second offensive drive after what happened that first time, 3-and-out. But a good job by Man being able to kind of catch his attention and cause him to jump. A fake to the running back. Now Will Jones rolling out of the pocket. Here comes Eli Owens, and he'll just have to throw it away.
Good play for ALCOA, getting him out of the pocket, but again, also containing him, keeping him from being able to run, because we've seen a lot of quarterbacks like him that can do that.
Yeah, he can certainly move, but yes, Scott, Eli Owens, certainly a guy that's built for something like that, and to spy and watch him, and you do not want the big senior Michigan man coming your way. 2nd and 15 now. They'll turn, get the call from the sideline. Defense adjusts. In the pistol, low snap, they'll hand off to Parker Davis. Davis has a hole. There come the Tornadoes, though, and swarm to the football and tackle him. He'll get back a couple of yards. I don't think he got to the original line of scrimmage, though.
So I was trying to look at,
I think it's going to be 3rd and 11.
1 yard short, so yeah, 3rd and 11.
So a 4-yard gain for Parker Davis, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Rebels.
And a passing down.
Yeah, going to have to do what they did.
Jones is a good passer, too.
Well, and the Tornadoes got to do what they did a moment ago, Scott. Get some pressure and force him to have to lose his vision and start taking off with the football and then readjust. There's the snap. ALCOA will rush 3. Jones will look down the field, got a man, and in and out of the hands. It got over the outstretched arms of Man trying to break it up. Had a wide open number 10, Nolan White, and he just couldn't come down with it.
No, like you said, Man just got his hands up and swatted, and I think that distracted him just enough.
Well, and the thing is, too, Scott, you're always taught as a receiver to catch the football with your hands, not catch it in your shoulder pads, and let it bounce off of your chest. And right there, the receiver kind of tried to let it go all the way into his chest, so it kind of bounced right off, and he was unable to maintain. So now that's 4th and 11, and the Rebels, again, 2 straight offensive drives, 3 and out, and they're forced to punt.
Just make sure that he punts it.
That is a great point, as this time he punts it a little bit earlier. Cooper calls things out. It'll start to roll. It's still rolling in Maryville's favor as it crosses the 50 down to the 47, and that is where it'll be down. And the Tornadoes, for the 2nd offensive drive in a row, have great field position.
Now, good opportunity for the Tornadoes to add to this lead here. Go ahead and get a little bit, kind of like Ravenwood did to ALCOA, a little bit of a punch in the mouth here, and then just maintain what you're doing. But so far, the defense for ALCOA is really frustrating Maryville.
So 1st down, a new running back in the backfield. That's Condis Cherry. He'll get the carry out to the left side, nowhere to go, and the Rebels will take him down out of bounds, and he'll lose a few. Great read by the Rebels as the Tornadoes just tried to pitch it to the outside and let Condis use his speed to kind of get upfield. But the Rebels forced him east and west and then just attacked. And so a loss of 2. It's now 2nd and 12.
Yeah, if Cherry can get in the open, he's got that speed to break away.
He'll send a man in motion. That's Damari DeBose, and he'll hand it off to DeBose on a jet sweep. DeBose pushing forward, and a gain of around 2. They'll get back, I believe, to the original line of scrimmage. It's now going to be 3rd and 10.
Heath, you noticed something this game that we hadn't really seen most of the year?
What's that?
Jet sweep.
Yeah, we haven't seen it a lot. We've seen them use it maybe once or twice this season with DeBose. But other than that, if they've used him in motion, they've kind of faked it, but they really haven't used it a lot. It used to be a signature of this offense a few years ago, kind of gotten away from that. And went to some other things now. But the Tornadoes find themselves here on the 2nd drive on a 3rd and long. Can they get a 1st down, or will they punt it back to the Rebels? Trips to the left, single receiver to the right. Graff will drop back, look down the field. Escapes the pressure, roll to his left. He'll turn, fire. There's Jacoby Cooper, and Cooper pushes to the 40, gets past one man. The young man catches his shirt tail and is able to bring him down, but not before the Tornadoes, Scott, in 3rd and long, convert a 1st down.
You want to keep seeing that. Of course, you don't want to get the 3rd and long, Heath, but you still want to continue to make those 3rd down plays and be able to keep this change moving.
Here's the thing, Scott. This is, again, just like that touchdown earlier where Eli Graff makes things difficult for a defense, because when he escaped pressure again, he rolled out, and Maryville had to think, do we go for him? Do we not? And because of causing them to second-guess themselves, Cooper was able to slip open, get behind that zone, and Graff was able to find him. There's the snap. Graf's going to look to pass here on first down. It's a screen set up to Eli Owens. Eli Owens will only get back to the line of scrimmage, they'll say, as they broke through that one, really read that screen very well, and were able to get past the lineman and bring down Owens as soon as he caught the ball.
Yeah, David Coker blew up the lineman that was trying to block him and just was able to get in there and get hold of Eli.
So now second and long for Alcoa. Ball at the 38-yard line. It's Condis Cherry still in the ball game, and to the left of Eli Graf. Trips to the right, single receiver to the left. There's the snap. Graf on a quarterback keeper. Graf taking his time, finding a hole, breaking a tackle, breaking another. And a Rebel gets him in the secondary and brings him down. But a Tornado first down.
And again, like you talked about how slippery he is, he went through that line. It looked like three guys had him, and he just got right past them and took off.
Looking like Frogger out there, just avoiding traffic and finding his way across the street into the first down marker. So a 1st and 10 for the Tornadoes. That'll put the ball at, I believe, the 23-yard line. They'll turn, they'll hand it off to Cherry to the left side. Cherry gets past one, makes a spin move. Good job running that football to the left-hand side by Condis Cherry. He will not get the first down, I do believe, but I think he got at least 7 or 8 on the carry. Let's see where they mark it.
Yeah, he's going to be close, but
it's kind of hard to see from this angle. We've got the first down markers on our side.
A yard and a half, maybe.
Yeah, so it makes things a little bit harder to tell as quickly as we want. I think it's going to be 2nd and 2. No, they're going to say 2nd and 1 on the board, so 2nd and 1.
Yeah, I think it's a long one, though.
You said a moment ago after that first run, Scott, if Condis can have a little bit of room to run, he can make things hard on the defense and pressure him with that speed.
Yeah, and he's got a good spin move, too. As you think you've got him, all of a sudden he's out of there. You don't even find him anymore.
Quarterback keeper to the right, and a first down for Alcoa.
And who did it? Eli Graf.
Eli Graf. And Scott, it almost felt like the way they set that one up, Maryville knew what was coming. They had a guy coming from the opposite side. He just couldn't catch Graf.
And right now, Eli's already up to 51 yards.
Well, and you and I talked about this even before the pregame, just to ourselves. The Eli's were going to have a big game tonight to help this young Tornado team come away with a victory. They're certainly off to a great start. First down for Alcoa. The handoff, that time to Cherry, and oh no, Cherry loses the football. And Maryville takes off. They get past the 50. Alcoa trying to chase him down. They finally will. They'll bring him down at the 43-yard line. So, Scott, a brutal mistake by the Tornadoes as they were inching their way to go up 2 scores, and Cherry just lost the ball as he got hit.
Yeah, it looked like he just took a swipe up under, trying to bring him, and just took it right out of his hands. But that's something Cherry's got to wrap that ball up.
Well, and Scott, Coach Nix talked about it. You have to play mistake-free football in a game like this. But the other thing I would say now is if you're Coach Nix, like he told us on Wednesday, you're talking to your team and you're saying, hey, look, this is where I tell you, when mistakes happen, don't try to get it all back at once. Settle in, relax. We did it, it's over. And now we've got to go play defense.
Right.
And trust in your defense here, Scott. They're not in field goal range. Do what you can to get this ball back to their offense and give them another opportunity. The snap, the handoff. It's Parker Davis on the carry, and there's Eli Owens waiting for it.
And Owens just went right through the lineman. It's like he wasn't even there and got to Davis quickly.
And, Scott, that is how you take some momentum and you turn it off. Great hit by Eli Owens, now 2nd and 11.
You know, wait and see. I'm not really sure that Maryville might just run this out.
Yeah, I think they will, as the clock's going to continue to move, and the Rebels just looking over at the sidelines, taking their time. So in a minute, folks, we're going to be done with the first quarter. And how about this, Scott? We're going to end quarter number 1 with the Tornadoes up 6-0.
Couldn't ask for that anything better other than if we had scored that last time.
Could have been a 2-score game to end the first, but hey, we'll take what we have right now. The defense has been playing lights out, and right now, Scott, if they can stop it again, early in the second quarter, we could give the ball right back to our offense. And the thing is, hey, mistakes happen, but if anything, you're still moving the football really well.
Yeah. And there's 3 quarters to go. Forget about that mistake.
Yep.
Just move from it.
Yep, you got 3 more to play, so you got to let that go and move on. But right now, a break in the action. We'll take one, too. We'll be back here in a few minutes. Your score, ALCOA 6, Maryville 0.
All proceeds go to equip and support the Maryville High School Band and its programs. Thank you for your support and big appetite. Ladies and gentlemen, Kroger is a proud partner of local high school football and is committed to the communities they serve and is excited to provide a donation of $1,000 to our high school. All season long, Kroger is hosting football-themed events at their stores with free snacks, giveaways, activities, and more.
Welcome back in as it's now the start of the second quarter, 6-0. It's the Tornadoes in the lead as they were able to score in the first quarter. The extra point was blocked, and that is where we stand today. As right now, Maryville gets the ball up the middle and nothing doing again. Scott, has to be frustrating for running back Parker Davis, who has had over 800 rushing yards this season, and most games had his way with the defense. And this Tornado defense is all over him as soon as he gets the ball.
Yeah, they're not allowing for anything, and that interior line is doing an outstanding job for the Tornadoes. But now you've got 3rd down and 11.
So 3rd and long, trips to the right, single receiver to the left. Will Jones is going to turn and get the updated call from the sideline. He'll move back, give everything to his team. There's the snap. Jones drops back. Here comes the pressure from the side. Here comes some more. He's going to have to launch it down the field. He's got a man. And caught. A touchdown for the Rebels. Scott, it looked for a minute like it might be too far, but number 16 for Maryville was able to extend out his hands, fingertip that one, and keep it bouncing around just long enough to corral it in. That was Casey Cobble on the reception, and the Rebels strike back.
Yeah, and he got behind Manu. Manu should not have been up on him a little bit more, but he just raced right by him. And great job of catching that ball, getting those hands stretched like he did and pointed in. He still was juggling. I was wondering if he was going to still maintain control.
Right. That extra point is up. That extra point is good. And because of that, because that extra point was blocked earlier, the Rebels now lead 7-6. So, Scott, a big play, but those things are going to happen in this game. Most of the game, though, so far, ALCOA has had in their control.
Very true, and that's one of the few passes, if any, that he's been at. Well, I think probably a second pass tonight, but he was able to get that receiver back behind the defender. That's something you got to watch for, but other than that, you know, the line and the linebackers have played an outstanding game up there. And some of the backs too, you know, knocking that first one away. But still, not anything serious.
No, I mean, it's early in the ball game, second quarter, 7-6 your score. But a great throw by Will Jones. He's a really good quarterback, only a sophomore, and we talked about this earlier in the week on our show, but we've been told by several people, including hearing that his family has even agreed with this, that Will is even better than his older brother Carson Jones, who's now moved on to play at Furman, and Carson was an outstanding quarterback. I think that's very scary for anyone playing Maryville, but kudos to Will. He's put in a lot of work, and only a sophomore. Future is certainly bright for him. But Scott, that time it was just more of Tornadoes weren't really able to get pressure on the quarterback. Maryville did a great job kind of keeping that pocket clean, and Will just climbed to the pocket and then delivered a beautiful dart down the field. So the big throw by Jones, a touchdown by the Rebels, and an extra point that gives them the 1-point lead. With 11:06 left to go in the second quarter, now Alcoa back to receive. It's Eli Graff, Micah Jones, and Jameer Dean. And Graff's going to drop back, let that one fall in the end zone for a touchback, and the Tornadoes will take over on offense. And a few quick shout outs here as we're going. I'd like to give a shout out to Michelle Ruckert, Jody Slagle, and also Terrence Henderson tuning into the broadcast tonight. Hope you guys are enjoying the call. And most of the ball game so far, a tough play a moment ago. The Tornadoes looking to bounce back from that here in the second quarter. It's first down. Eli Graff gets the snap. There's the handoff, missing one tackle, now missing another. A juke, a jive, and pushing ahead is Micah Jones.
Yeah, Maryville had 3 shots at him trying to bring him down, and he was not going to come down. They had to get a couple extra players over there to help to get him down.
Well, and Scott, I spoke a moment ago about how talented Will Jones is, only a sophomore. You want to talk about another really good sophomore? Micah Jones.
Oh, yes.
And right now, Scott, if I'm Alcoa, I may keep him in the game a little bit longer instead of rotating back and forth. Just the way he's running the football right now, he's really kind of in a rhythm, in a zone right now at the running back position. But it's going to be 1st and 10 for Alcoa. Fresh set of downs. They're going to move Jacoby Cooper in motion, create trips to the right, fake the handoff, turn, look, pass to Cooper. Cooper outside. They tried to set up a screen for him, but the Rebels read it right away.
Yeah, that's one of those one-on-one, and you just kind of hope you can either get past him or bowl him over.
Well, and he kind of bubbled it back so deep, I almost wondered if it was going to be like a receiver pass, but instead once he goes to the original line of scrimmage, but I think he got stopped just a yard short. So it's going to be 2nd and 11. Two receivers to the right, one to the left, and Owen split off to the left side of the line. Jones in the backfield. They'll send Cooper in motion. They'll turn, hand it off to him on a jet sweep. He misses one tackle, now cuts it straight up the field. Scott, he loses the football as well, but the Tornadoes are able to recover.
Yeah, a couple of really strong hits, and they're hitting right around the ball, and you just got to keep that ball tight. But still, positive yardage on that hit, so it looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 4.
Yeah, got to keep it high and tight. Got to look out for it. Maryville knows now Alcoa's kind of carrying it like a loaf of bread, and they're going to keep trying to get that one out of your hands and steal it away. So you got to be more careful. But credit to number 54, Sam Garland. The junior offensive lineman was the one who was there on the play to jump on the ball and recover it. So now a quarterback keeper, Eli Graff, pushes ahead, finds an open hole, and finds himself a first down.
And going back to the turnovers for Maryville anyway, after the last one there that Maryville got, they are currently plus 11 in turnovers.
Wow. So a gain of 10 by Eli Graff sets up a first down for the Tornadoes as they're inching their way closer to the 50. Currently the ball at the 46. Trips to the right. There's the snap. There's the fake handoff, and it's Graff on the keeper. Making a move, bounces to the outside, cutting back inside. Oh, no. It's going to be a hold. I have a feeling. I didn't think he did hold him,
yeah,
but I think they're going to call a hold on Jacoby Cooper on the outside.
Yeah, I didn't think he had hold of him, but must have got the hand up around the shoulder pad.
It looked like he just got inside of him and was able to create a lane for Eli, but instead they're going to call the hold. And you know Jacoby's frustrated about that because as soon as they threw it, he kind of looked over at the ref and he just kind of was like, are you kidding me? Like, there's no way I was holding this guy. But unfortunately, a penalty that does hurt the Tornadoes on this drive. It will move them in the wrong direction. And now the referee moves backwards to get the ball placed. And I believe it was a 10-yard penalty, so it'll now be 1st and 20. So we'll see if the Tornadoes now look to throw the football or if they look to continue to try to move the ball on the ground. They've had pretty good success, honestly, getting at least 5 to 6 yards per carry so far most of this game.
Well, I think a couple of good passes will probably loosen Maryville up a little bit more, too.
Turn and complete it. There's Jameer Dean.
Hold the ball,
Jameer Dean
hold the
cutting
ball.
down the field, and it took 3 Rebels to catch up to him and then 1 to reach forward and bring him down. But Jameer Dean with the first down for the Tornadoes and inching his way close to the red zone.
Yeah, good crossing route, and Graff just hit him right on the numbers. A little worried about him, though, when he started holding that ball out that we've been talking about.
Got to keep it tucked. But it was a really cool play call and design for Alcoa because Graff turned and faked a pitch, then dropped back and delivered it down the field. So it kind of forced everyone to watch for the run and then allowed Jameer Dean to just sneak right behind the linebackers and find an opening at the second level. So a 1st and 10 at the 29. Graff will roll out to his right. Look down the field. He's got a man. And just a little too far that time. He saw the safety moving over, and Scott just tried to put a little too far ahead for Eli Owens and couldn't quite get it to him.
And I think if he had gone to the right shoulder of Eli,
right, yeah,
the defender would not have been able to get to that.
Agreed. So that'll be 2nd and 10 now, ball on the 29-yard line.
But you want to keep Maryville in the mode of thinking, hey, they might pass on us. We got to watch that too. So it might open the running lanes up a little bit more.
The snap, the handoff up the middle. Micah Jones surges ahead. It'll bring up 3rd and medium.
Micah Jones carries the ball. Jackson.
Medium or medium rare?
Trying to see where they officially spot it. 3rd and 5 is what they're going to call it. 6:56 and counting off the clock here in the second quarter. The Tornadoes looking to try to score their 2nd touchdown of the game and retake the lead. It's a quarterback keeper to the left side. Leading the charge is Micah Jones, and Graff pushes ahead. And he will get tackled at what looks to be, from this angle, past the 1st down marker.
Yeah, and got a really nice help from a Maryville defender who came up behind him and just shouldered him real hard in there, but he actually pushed him forward. And enough for the 1st down.
Now, the last time the Tornadoes got into the red zone, Scott, a fumble gave the ball to the Rebels and allowed the Rebels to kind of steal the momentum, get down the field, and score their only touchdown so far today. So all 3 times Alcoa's had the ball, they've moved it into this territory. Just need to punch it in again here. As Graff gets the snap, he'll hand it off to Jones. Jones gets around 1 defender. He tries to stiff arm another, but they grab him and slam him to the turf near the 25. And Micah Jones loses his shoe.
Micah Jones carries the ball.
Yeah, so it'll be at the 16-yard line.
Sorry about that. At least I didn't say the 53 like we heard from someone the other day.
Yeah, exactly.
No Canadian football here. So 2nd down for the Tornadoes, 2nd and 8 is what it appears to be with 6:03 and counting. Now under 6 minutes to play in the second quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Jones will stay in the backfield to the right side of Graff. Graff gets the snap. He'll drop back, look to throw. He'll throw a bomb into the end zone. He's got Dean, and man!
Just out of his hand.
Dean at first didn't see it. The DB saw it first, but it was so high the DB couldn't get to it. And Dean climbed the ladder and almost brought it down one-handed, just tipped right off his hands and out of play. But you like that, though, Scott, if you're watching Eli Graff here, is he put it the only place his receiver could get it.
Well, like you said, the defender turned around and didn't even make an effort for it.
Yeah, he couldn't get to the ball. Jameer had the vertical advantage. Just a tough play, and unfortunately couldn't make the grab, but it will bring up 3rd and 8 now for Alcoa. Ball in the 16. There's the snap, the fake handoff. Eli drops back. Got some time. He'll deliver the football. And no, incomplete. Yeah, it was low, and Eli Owens tried to slide down and make the catch, but was unable to bring it in.
Yeah, and I almost wondered if Graff would have been better to run it because he had an open lane right in front of him.
And Scott, it looks like the Tornadoes will elect to kick a field goal. And hopefully they've been able to make the necessary corrections, as the last time this kicking unit was out here on an extra point, it was blocked. And I think that was due to a couple different things: an early start by the kicker, a low snap that caused take an extra second to get the snap ready. So got to have a cleaner delivery and finish for Alcoa here. But this field goal could give them the lead if they can make it. The snap, the kick is up. The kick looks like it's through the uprights, and folks, it is.
So Alcoa takes the lead now 9-7 with 5:32 left in the first half. That was a really good offensive series, Heath. Just a couple unfortunate passes that almost were there.
Yeah.
A little too high on one, a little too low on the other. He'll find the medium zone soon, but what ends up, Alcoa takes the lead.
Well, and Scott, I just have to say, here in the second quarter, just from what we've seen so far, I'm really impressed by this Tornado team and how they've come out prepared. Had a chance to talk to some of the coaches before the game, and I asked them, I said, I asked them, hey, how the boys doing? How you guys doing? And they said we're ready to go. We're prepared. We believe we're dialed in, and they're certainly showing it so far. I mean, kudos times a million if you can give it that much to this defense. I mean, this defense has come to play. One break in the secondary and that great throw by Will Jones, but other than that, I feel like this defense has played an excellent ball game and have really just kind of shaken up the Rebels. You now got to come out after that big pass, and you just got to settle things back down here on this opportunity. See if you can force a punt and get it right back to your offense.
Well, and if you noticed, Heath, whenever Alcoa has kicked it into the end zone and made Maryville start at about the 20 or so, they've not been able to do anything. It's when Maryville was at midfield is when they had better field position, were they able to make that throw.
Yeah, put a little more pressure that time on the defense. So, yeah, still waiting the TV timeout here, as again, this is also a televised game, but those tuning into our broadcast tonight, we certainly appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the call. Sorry if we're getting a little too excited, but this is just one of those rivalry games, Scott, that, man, just gets your engines revved up, and it's going to be hard to bring them back down, and it's been really fun to watch. But, Scott, while we've got this TV timeout, I see you look like you might have some scoring updates posted for us.
Yeah, he's just taking a quick look right now. Unicoi County 14-0 over Chucky Doak. Cosby 6-6 with Granger right now. Science Hill 21-0 over Daniel Boone. Dobbins Bennett doing the same thing to David Crockett as they are up 21-0. Right now, Greenville leading Northview Academy 7-0 in the first. Happy Valley 46, Unaka 0. That is a final in the Clash of Compassion that you talked about earlier. Jefferson County leading Cott County 21-0 in the second. Trying to find something a little closer right now. Saudi Daisy in the second, 14. William Blunt 0. Cleveland 7-0 over Bradley. And it looks like we're getting ready to start as Carter leads Fulton 21-0.
All right,
or 7.
Thanks for the scoring updates, Scott. And now Kyron Tyson looks both ways, ready to go, and now he's going to kick this one off. Tyson so far has been able to boot it deep into the end zone. It's been non-returnable. This one looks like it is, and they will return it from the end zone.
So, yeah, with 1 foot in the end zone and the other at the 1 yard line, looks like he gets about a 22-yard gain. I was trying to see where the referee was going to place that.
That was number 12, Colton Faust, the sophomore wide receiver on the return. So that is where the Rebels will be set up to start off this drive with 5:26 left to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, now actually be 23 yards. So now time for Alcoa defense to hang on to him.
So other than one big play, it's been a really successful night so far for this Alcoa defense. Make sure they can clean things up in the secondary, but continue to dominate things when it comes to the stopping the run. They'll send a man in motion, they'll fake the handoff, and they'll look to go back to the air where they found some success. And Scott, just a little too much on that one as Faust tried to get to it, and it went through his hands, but put a lot of mustard on that one. That was a heater.
Well, he saw some pressure coming from ALCOA, tried to get it out of there quickly. And like you said, just a little too much mustard.
So slipping through the hands of Faust, that'll bring up 2nd and 10. So right away, after the success they had on the touchdown, the Rebels go right back to the air to see if they can start to find something clicking offensively for themselves. They'll break the huddle here. It's a trips formation to the left, single receiver to the right, and a new running back in the backfield for Maryville. They'll turn, fake the handoff, throw a wide receiver screen out to Parker Davis.
Oh, a big hit right there.
Yeah, they got Parker Davis in space, Scott, and once he was able to pick up speed, just leveled the safety coming up to try to make the tackle, and that's going to be a first down. It's a really good gain. Maryville trying to find a way, Scott, to get Parker Davis involved, and that's what they did because he wasn't able to get past the backfield. They moved him outside on a screen and got him to pick up speed, and that's where you start to see how dynamic of a player he really is.
Yeah, and he just leveled McLeod.
So 1st and 10, ball on the 44. The snap, the handoff to Davis. Davis surges ahead. The Tornadoes grab him and try to stall him from moving any further. So they prevent any further forward progress, but it will be a gain of around 4. I believe it's going to set up 2nd and 6. So it will indeed be 2nd and 6. That puts the ball at the 48-yard line. 4:15 and counting here in the 2nd quarter. If you're the Rebels, you want to take all the time you can off this clock and try to score and take the lead going into the half. Your ALCOA, you'd like to get this ball back to your offense and see if you could open it up a little bit more. Shotgun formation, Will Jones will look to throw. He's got some pressure and has to deliver it. Overthrows his defender. Good coverage by DeBose. DeBose was a step behind the wide receiver, but was right on the heels of Britton Barrett. But Will Jones just threw it too far, Scott. I think kind of almost had to throw it off his back foot because of the pressure ALCOA brought.
Yeah, again, had to get rid of the ball. He doesn't have a lot of time to set up back in there. ALCOA's getting on him pretty quick. But their receivers are getting just ahead of the ALCOA receivers, though.
It's going to bring up 3rd and 6. I try to find where Parker Davis is. Looks like he may be split off here to the right, so I'd try to find wherever he's at as there's a new running back in the backfield. You've got trips to the right. That doesn't appear to be Davis. So it looks like Davis is actually off the field right now, but Scott's some miscommunication by the offense, and they're going to take a timeout.
Yeah, it looked like that was Graham Coulter that was back in the backfield with him, the number 15. But be careful with him. He's a quarterback.
Yeah, watch out for any sort of trick plays here for Maryville. 3:55 left to go in the 2nd quarter. 9-7, Tornadoes lead. And Scott, if you would have told me earlier this week this is where we'd be at this point in the game, I certainly would be pleased. I've been just tickled to death about how well this Tornado team has played. And this is a game where all the pundits out there that have given score predictions have predicted this to go to the red and black. And a lot of them, even you told me, had predicted this to be a multiple score touchdown difference.
Right, Heath. So right now, ALCOA has proven that wrong. But to continue to do what they've been doing here in the first half, right now you want to hold Maryville as they are 3rd and 6 from the Maryville 48-yard line.
So back to the action we go. Tornadoes made some adjustments just like the Rebels did. Let's see who wins. 3rd and 6. They'll turn, fake the handoff, look across the middle, throw it, broken up, almost intercepted, but it will be 4th down.
Good play, getting that big paw up there. Touches it, slows it down a little bit, and almost like you said, as the ALCOA defender crossed in front of the receiver, could have, or almost could have intercepted it.
Yeah, credit to the linebackers who were able to get a paw on it and kind of deflect it, slow it down. And by slowing it down, the DB jumped the route and tried to get to it, couldn't bring it in. But now the Rebels will be punting with 3:51 left to go in the 2nd quarter, and the Tornadoes with a chance to extend their lead. And Scott, watch for the fake here, as we've seen that possibility a few times. as he'll boot it away as Manu was coming up on him quick. Cooper moves out of the way, and it bounces back towards Alcoa, so Maryville jumps up and stops it, and that'll be down inside the 20, and where the Tornadoes will come out on offense.
Yeah, Alcoa got 2 defenders up there quick on that punter, letting him know you're not running this time. But now a great opportunity for Alcoa, like you said.
Got to make the most of it, though. No mistakes, methodical down the field. Use this clock up and extend your lead at half. And then if you do that, Scott, you're getting the football back in the third.
Well, and even, a couple of those slants or crosses from Dean really helped open Maryville up a little bit.
Graff will turn. They'll throw in a wide receiver screen to Cooper. But, Scott, we've seen a few times today the screen just really hasn't worked out as the receivers having a hard time holding their blocks. Rebels get past it and blow that one up. A few yards lost on the play.
Yeah, some of those screens like that kind of get pretty much readable. And defenses have learned how to play on that.
So it's now going to be 2nd and 15 for Alcoa. Clock continues to churn. Trips to the left, they'll turn. They'll hand it off to Condis Cherry. Cherry around the right side, trying to use his speed, but the Rebels bottle him up quickly. He'll gain a yard or 2, and it's going to be 3rd and long. And the last thing you want to do here, Scott, is right after playing as well as you did on defense is give the ball right back to the Rebels, have a 3 and out, and give them basically a 2-minute drill to try to move the football right back down the field. So we'll see what Alcoa draws up here. Can they get a first down? They've had a couple of 3rd and longs tonight where they have been able to convert, but they're certainly in a tough situation now as it is 3rd and 14 for Alcoa.
And I'm pretty much will guarantee you, Heath, if they stop Alcoa right here, Maryville's calling timeout.
Can't blame him, unless it's an incompletion. Graff drops back, looks, the heavy pressure. Graff cannot avoid it.
And he fumbles.
And he loses the ball, but the Tornadoes fall on it, and now will be forced to punt as it is 4th and very long.
And like I said, Maryville calls timeout.
Rebels
or
wanted,
no, they're saying Alcoa called timeout.
Rebels wanted to make sure, Scott, that Eli Graff did not hurt them this time on 4th and 3rd and long, and they brought the house after him, and he had no time to deliver that football down the field. So now the Tornadoes are going to talk things over and see what adjustments they make as they look to punt it away. You will have Eli Graff punting the football, but I highly doubt, Scott, that he's going to try to fake it here, because if he doesn't get it, the Rebels are set up nicely in the red zone.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Alcoa called the timeout and not Maryville, because I would have seen Maryville calling that timeout to stop the clock and give them plenty of time.
You almost wonder, Scott, if maybe the thought is, hey, yeah, there's 2 minutes left, but we believe we can hold them right back on a 3 and out, and we want to still have enough time to have one more drive because we don't like how this one ended. I'm not sure, but I'm with you. I am a little surprised the timeout was called there. But whatever the reason, it was called. The clock is stopped with 2 minutes left to go, and Graff in the end zone to punt it away. Watch out for the Rebels trying to bring pressure and see if they can get a touchdown here by blocking it. Graff boots it, backing up and catching it at the 45. To the 40, to the 35 he goes, breaking another tackle to the 20, to the 15, and escorted out of bounds. And a great return.
Yeah, that was the danger of the punt, but it looked like Eli had tried to give the defense time to get down there. They just did not wrap him up.
Punt team broke down on that one, and the Rebels now close to the end zone.
But in field goal range now.
In field goal range. Field goal would give them back the lead, as it's right now 9-7 with 1:50 left to go in the second quarter.
But Alcoa's defense has played well. The offense has struggled a little bit, especially with not turnovers, but fumbles. Luckily, they've gotten all but one back.
Hand off to Davis. Davis bounces to the outside. Gets spun around, starts moving in reverse, trying to get more yards. And the defense swarms with the football, and the whistle is blown. Second down.
Looks like maybe about 3 on the carry. Under a minute 20 left in the first half.
Full turn, hand the football off to Davis again. No, it's a quarterback keeper. And Graff goes out there to catch him. But Scott, he picks up a first down.
Yeah, a very smart play, too, and running out of bounds. It's not a first down, but he does get a couple of yards. So it looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 3 or 4. I'm looking forward.
Where the ref was moving a minute ago, it looked like he was saying it was a first down. So my mistake.
Yeah.
Again, it's really
so
hard
an
to read with
important
the
hold right
markers,
here for ALCOA.
with the markers on this side.
Yeah, important hold here for ALCOA.
Tornadoes do still have 2 timeouts. If they can hold them, force a field goal, they do still have time if they want to use it to try to move down the field. Sending a man in motion. The snap, the handoff to Davis. There goes Davis pushing ahead. Tornadoes sling him forward, and I think they slung him past the first down marker.
Let's see. No, it's going to be 4th down.
So now the Rebels will take a timeout, stop the clock and talk it over, see what they want to do here on 4th and 1. Do they want to go for it and try to see if they can punch it in, or do they want to just rely on the field goal and try to retake the lead? Either way, with 1:04 left, if you're ALCOA and you get the football back in a moment, Scott, what do you do?
Right now, I'd say go for the field goal. Sometimes being greedy can backfire on you.
Right, but if you're ALCOA and you get the football back, what do you do?
Don't be greedy.
do you try to still push it down the field quickly in like a 1-minute offense? Or do you just run the football, churn and burn, and get to halftime and adjust?
Check on your first 2 plays, see what you do. You might try to get some yardage and see, but if you're unsuccessful, then run the clock out, go into halftime.
So the Tornadoes back on the field. Now here come the Rebels. And Scott, it looks like the Rebels are going to go for it. If I'm the Tornadoes, be careful and don't jump.
Right, don't jump, but the other thing too is don't get caught worrying so much about the run that you forget. So ALCOA is going to call timeout here.
You know why? Because ALCOA knew exactly what they were doing. Get in the huddle, rush to the line to make ALCOA on their toes because they move so quickly, and that's a signal of, hey, we're going to rush the line, try to get you to jump.
Yeah.
And ALCOA saw it and said, nope, timeout. And so now with that adjustment, we'll see if Maryville goes, okay, ALCOA caught us. We're going to now kick the field goal.
Yeah, the only thing, like I said, was just be careful not to send the house on a rush and get caught with the receiver getting behind you. And a couple of scores real fast here. I mentioned earlier, Carter 21-7 over Fulton. That is a big surprise to me. But another one right now, this is still in the first quarter, though. A lot of time left to play. Gibbs 3, Anderson County 0. Knox Central right now in the second, leading Heritage 14-7.
So coming out are the Rebels, and again, it looks like they are going to go for it.
So again, with 1:04 left on the clock in the first half, Maryville with the ball at the 10-yard line. Again, rushes to the line.
Take the handoff, rolling out and wide
exactly
open.
What I said.
A breakdown in the defense. No one had him, and it was caught by number 21, Hudson Jamerson, for the Rebel touchdown.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. Don't go so much for that rush that you forget someone coming out off to the side there. And Jameson wide open. He couldn't ask for better there.
Good throw by Will Jones. The Rebels with the touchdown. They're now up 13-9 and getting ready for the extra point. The snap, The kick, and it is good through the uprights. Your score is 59 seconds left to go in the second quarter, 13-9. Rebels on top. 14-9, Rebels on top.
Yeah, I was waiting on that guy to get that.
Yeah, it threw me off.
One more over there.
So, Scott, the Tornadoes now with only one timeout left, 59 seconds to go. The Rebels will try to pin the Tornadoes deep, and then the Tornadoes have a decision to make. Do they run the football, take it to the half, and know that they're going to get the football to start the third quarter? Or, like you said, do they maybe think about, let's try on the first play or two, see if we can push the ball down the field, and if we do, we'll hurry up and try to keep moving, or do we just run the ball and call it?
Well, you have one timeout, so keep that in mind.
Kicking off for Maryville is Max here. 8 for ALCOA. Number 0, Jameer Neat. Number 12, Eli Graham. And number 9, Micah Jones.
So an adjustment as Micah Jones was back to receive previously. Damari DeBose is back this time with Graff and Dean. The kick is away, and it's returnable, and it's going to be Graff who's going to go get it. There goes Graff to the 10, to the 15, finding a hole, juking, jiving, getting past another to the 30 and taken down. A great
return,
hard-fought return by Eli Graff, and with 48.9 seconds to go at the 30 are the Tornadoes with 70 yards away from the end zone. Can the Tornadoes, if nothing else, Scott, could they do just enough to get into the red zone area and give Kyron Tyson an opportunity with a kick?
It's 1st and 10 for ALCOA.
Well, it's not like it hadn't happened before, Heath.
That is very true. They've had to do more with less. Trips to the right, 2 to the left. Empty backfield for Eli Graff. The snap, Graff looking down the field, escaping pressure, and he'll just take off with it. Run out of bounds and gain a couple.
And more importantly, instead of having to use the timeout, ran out of bounds, stopped the clock.
So it'll be 2nd and 8, 43.1 seconds left to go. This time it's Jones in the backfield with Graff. The snap, the handoff. Micah Jones trying to find holes. And he'll be planted down, gains a couple. It's going to be 3rd. And after that run, you have to imagine it looks like Alcoa may look to just let the clock roll. And Scott, they will, as the clock's going to start to tick down. Looks like both teams are going to be content to take it to half and make the necessary adjustments to come out in the third quarter.
Yeah, and Graff was calling for the play, but the coaches are just going to let this go as we're now under 10 seconds left in the half.
So the clock sounds, and that is the end of the second quarter. It's Rebels 14, Tornadoes 9. We ended the first quarter 6-0 Alcoa. Since then, the Rebels 14-3 in the second quarter and have the lead going into the break. Scott, after what you've seen in the first half, your assessment of the game so far?
Good game from both teams. What has really hurt Alcoa and set Maryville up a time or two is keeping control of the ball. I believe we've had at least maybe 4 fumbles. We've lost 1, but you got to quit doing that. You got to keep the ball. That's what keeps drives moving. But you can also kill a drive when you fumble and lose the ball.
Yeah, 3 fumbles by the Tornadoes, 1 of those given away, but the one they gave away was a crucial one early in the game where they could have taken a 2-score lead and been up 13-0. But instead, it gave the Rebels some life. It allowed them to move down the field and score and take the lead, and then kind of went back and forth as Alcoa was able to get a field goal, retake the lead, and the Tornadoes answered yet again. The defense, for the most part, I thought, has played a really solid game. The good news is we will go into the third quarter with the Tornadoes beginning on offense. So you have a great opportunity here as you're only down 5 to get this lead right back and then challenge your defense to hold it.
Yeah, it's something Alcoa is just going to have to do is just keep playing. Defense has played great. Defense has played great. Here's something you might be interested in here. Boyd Buchanan, currently 28. Knox Webb, 0.
So Coach Rankin and his Boyd Buchanan Buccaneers doing a great job, and they're undefeated so far this season, having a really good year, and we'll see what Rankin's able to do with them as they get their way into playoff time. But Scott, we're going to take a break here at halftime. Your score is Rebels 14, Tornadoes 9 at the break. We'll be posting on 2 Hype Sports our Tornado Trivia of the night, so tune in to that. No repeat winners. If you've won already so far here in the regular season, you cannot win again. You can start to win again in the playoffs when we change our gift package. But for now, anyone who hasn't won has an opportunity to play. So take a look for that posted at halftime, and best of luck. We'll take a break, and we'll be back for the third quarter here soon on the NFHS Network.
Great American Cookies, I Heart Nails, Buddy's Barbecue, Action Home Repair and Remodeling, and Moon Pie. The Maryville High School Band thanks you. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier I did not get to finish the announcement. Kroger is a proud partner of local high school football and is committed to the communities they serve and is excited to provide a donation of these and more. Be sure to check it out and visit KrogerHighSchoolFootball.com for more details. Let's have a big round of applause to our community partner and friends at Kroger. Here are some scores of interest. Second quarter score, Shoddy Daisy 14, William Club 0. Second quarter score, Bearden 7, Morristown West 3. First quarter score, Eagleton Academy 8, Hampton 0. At the half, Cleveland 14, Bradley Central 7. Also at the half, Farragut 17, Hardin Valley 0. Also at the half, Carter 28, Fulton 14. Another halftime score, Central 28, Heritage 10. Second quarter score, West 14, Falls 7. Second quarter score, Greenback 8, Sunbright 0. At halftime, Seymour 13, South Doyle 0. Second quarter score, Anderson County 14, Gibbs 6.
Welcome back into the NFHS broadcast here on the Tornado Network. I'm Heath Dunkel alongside Scott Dunkel. Your score at the half, 14-9. The Rebels in the lead. It was all Tornadoes to start the first quarter, but the Rebels got hot in the second and were able to outscore ALCOA 14-3 in that second quarter that led to the score we see at the moment. Right now, taking a look at some of our key playmakers so far for the Tornadoes tonight. Eli Graff, 5 of 8 for 42 yards passing on the ground. Graff has 8 carries for 68 yards as well and a rushing touchdown. Micah Jones also having a nice game, 7 carries for 55 yards. Jameer Dean with a really nice reception for a big play earlier in tonight's ball game. It was 1 catch for 33 yards. So that's some of your key playmakers so far today. For the Tornadoes on the offensive side of the football, other than a couple of explosive plays by the Rebels, the Tornadoes defense has played quite well also. We'll see what adjustments they make, but the number one key to start this second half, Scott, is it's time to reset and know you have an opportunity here by getting the football to begin the third to rewrite the script and change the narrative of this ball game.
Exactly. Hey, just get the ball down, take your time, get it in there, hold onto the ball, no more fumbles. You get the ball down there and take the lead, and then let your defense go to work.
Yeah, one of the keys in this ballgame that have made things difficult. Luckily, it's only shot the Tornadoes in the foot once. That once, though, I think certainly changed some momentum in this game. 3 fumbles, 1 lost. That 1 loss was in the first quarter. The Tornadoes were moving the ball down the field. They were getting close to their end zone as it was 6-0, looking to make it a 2-score game. And they knocked the football out of the running back's hands, took it back to past midfield, and the Rebels were able to take that offensive drive and score. And it's just kind of been the Rebels for the most part ever since. But only being down 5, you've got a really good chance here to flip the script. So the Rebels getting ready to kick, back waiting to receive for Alcoa, Dean, Graff, and DeVos. Scott, you have to imagine, too, when you talk about adjustments, but you also talk about things to motivate your team in the second half, that the coaches had to have been saying to this offense, this is your game. You've been moving the ball for the most part at will against this defense. Keep that same mentality. Continue to make those blocks that are necessary to spring our guys down the field, and let's continue to punish them in the third and fourth quarter.
Right, Heath. Just kind of keep moving, though. But, you know, like you said, just – bring the ball down, get it down, just kind of drive, and then throw some passes mixed in there to keep them honest.
Yeah, be methodical with the drive. Take your time. Don't try to get it all back at once. Eli Graff has certainly been leading this squad as we expected, nothing less.
And Jones has played great, too.
Rebel kicker looks both ways, make sure the team is ready, and now he'll kick it deep to the Tornadoes. It looks like it's returnable. Graff's going to catch it. Graff's going to go to the 5, to the 10. Graff trying to find a seam in this Rebel defense. This time, though, after a great return right before the end of the first half, he will not have as much success there as the Rebels bottle him up just past the 15-yard line.
Well, they're going to move him up to the 20.
And I think there's some confusion, Scott. There's a ref on the far side where the ball should be, and there's another ref who placed it on the 20. And I think he finally saw where the other ref was and moved the ball back
well,
to the 16-yard line.
I thought that was nice of him, though.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, there is no way. Looks like it's actually at the 16-yard line is where it should be, and that's where they spot it. And the Tornadoes will start off on offense. A handoff to Micah Jones, and there goes Jones off the middle. He gets tripped up. Could have gotten more. But still, yeah, a good gain. It'll be second down.
Yeah, he would have gotten probably at least 5-10 more yards and just kind of got hip checked, I think, going through there and threw him a little off balance.
2nd and 4 for Alcoa. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right of the formation. The fake handoff and Graff on the keeper. Graff bulldozes ahead as the Rebels sniff that one out. It'll be 3rd down. Graff got to the 25, a gain of 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 2. So decision time for the Tornadoes as the Rebels bring pressure, anticipating the run. Graff on the keeper. Graff moving around, shaking, Bacon pushing ahead.
He's going to be really close.
And, yeah, it's going to be super close. I think he may just be inches short, but let's see where they say he's at. Refs look. Ball spotted.
They're saying
first down.
All right.
Just enough for Eli Graff.
Yeah, like you said earlier, Heath, it's a little different than the angles that up here than what we normally see.
Yeah, it made it a lot harder for us to truly tell where the ball's spotted tonight. So we do apologize for the confusion, but doing our best up here to try to look at the board, also look at the field, and try to make sure we know where this football's at. But what we do know is it is a 1st and 10 now. So a fresh set of downs for Alcoa. The Rebels look to bring pressure, and Alcoa looks to answer with a run. Micah on the carry. And he went in right into that defense, and the line tried to help push him forward. He gains a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Yeah, just inside the 30-yard line of Alcoa. So it looks like going to make it about 2nd and 8.
The Rebels starting to try to look more, Scott, for that running attack by Alcoa, is keeping their eyes in the backfield on Graff and on Jones. Alcoa may want to look to try to take advantage of that and see if they can air it out when they need to. Right now, though, a quarterback keeper. The line trying to create a hole for Graff. Nothing doing. He'll get to the 30. He may have gained 1. It'll be 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Maryville's defensive front getting a little bit better push this time than they were earlier in the game.
Both of these teams do an incredible job of making second half adjustments. And we're seeing it right here as the Rebels defensively are anticipating what the Tornadoes are going to do right now, running the ball. They're daring Alcoa to throw it. And now, Scott, on the 3rd and long situation, you have to imagine the Rebels are going to do the same thing they did earlier when they got Alcoa in 3rd and long. They expect Alcoa to possibly pass, try to bring the house, and make it hard for Eli Graff. Graff's going to send a man in motion, and the Tornadoes don't like what they see and call timeout. Coach Nick's talking things over with some of the offensive linemen as they're trying to get the play call set up, discussing things with Eli Owens, Eli Graff, and some of the other skills players. Gossett over there with the line making adjustments. So many great coaches on this sideline, Scott, and we've had the pleasure of getting to know a lot of them. Coach Gossett does such a great job with this line each and every week this season. We've seen them get better and better. I think for the most part tonight, they've played a really good game. You've seen the way Alcoa has been able to run the football with Graff, run the football with Jones throughout the evening, and have created some great holes against a really good Rebel defense. And so now both teams come out from the timeout. The Tornadoes now in the huddle. The Rebels come back onto the field and get themselves lined up. The Rebels a minute ago tried to cause some confusion and totally flipped their defensive line and linebackers to opposite sides of where they were lined up to start. Alcoa's coming out, trying to create some chaos for this Alcoa offensive line of knowing who to block and where. They do so again here. They'll send Cooper in motion. They'll fake it to Cooper.
And we got a false start.
And a penalty.
Couldn't pinpoint immediately who it was that started, but you could see a little bit of quick movement.
Before the snap, the penalty is illegal procedure against Alcoa. The 5-yard penalty will put the ball at the 25. It will be 3rd down, 12 to go.
So instead of 3rd down and 7 now, it's 3rd down and 12 for the Tornadoes.
We'll see what play call Alcoa goes to here. They've got Jones in the backfield. They've got Dean out here to the left-hand side, 2 receivers to the right. Owens is split off to the left side with Dean. Graff will drop back, look down the field. He's got a man. Can he make the catch?
Oh.
No, he cannot, as it was almost picked off. Reading that play from the jump, David Crawford broke on it, got a hand up, and was able to deflect it. Had he not, Scott, Graff tried to get it up enough, but not quite enough air. Wide open, Condis Cherry. It was a good play call, just a better read by the linebacker.
Yeah, and just out of the receiver's reach as he had deflected the ball just enough. Had it come down just a little bit shorter, he would have had it and had some good yardage on it as well. So could have gone either way right there.
4th and 12. And the Tornadoes will punt. Graff will take his time, survey the field, punt it away. And fair caught at the 40. Better coverage by the Alcoa punt team, who gave up a big return before the end of the first half, allowed Maryville to kind of do the rest and end up scoring a touchdown. This time, though, they were right around the returner, caused him to call a fair catch. So the Tornadoes, who get the ball to start the second half, weren't able to capitalize on it, and now the Rebels, with a 14-9 lead, have the football with 8:24 left to go in the third quarter, and the Tornadoes will rely on their defense. Handoff goes to Parker Davis. Davis around the right side, holding on to him and needing some assistance, but coming over and finishing him off was Micah Jones. Cade Stinnett was the original player on the jump there to wrap up Davis, and Davis was trying to get past him, and Jones luckily able to help him. Scott bring him to the turf. It's now 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and defense has done a great job in keeping Davis bottled up. 10 carries for 20 yards so far.
Well, and also, too, Scott, just everyone swarming to the football. Like not just expecting one man to make the tackle, but coming over no matter what to help and break sure the player is down. 2nd and 7, shotgun formation. Parker Davis to the right. A fake handoff and a throw. This one is complete. Making a move to the inside and getting the first down is Faust on the catch.
Yeah, and Faust almost lost the ball as the defender grabbed him and pulled, and it looked like his arm came out with the ball, but was able to grab and get himself under control again.
Yeah, Eli Owens got into the backfield and tried to jump up and deflect it, just couldn't get his hands on the football as Jones was able to slip it through and deliver that to Faust, and the Rebels pick up a first down. So they'll have the ball at the 48-yard line. New running back in the backfield. They'll turn and give him the ball. And there he goes. He's got an opening, getting through the seam, and the secondary has to come up and make the play, and a first down.
Yeah, ALCOA a little heavy on the left-hand side. Maryville took it to on the right side of the defense and was able to break through that first line.
Ori Vananda Walker on the carry, and a first down for the Rebels. It'll put the ball at the 27-yard line.
ALCOA needs to get somebody over here quick.
They'll turn, they'll hand it off to Vananda Walker. Vananda Walker brought down by Jameer Turner.
ALCOA a little confusion there for a second. No one was on the receiver to the right. He was waving at the quarterback to let him know.
The 2nd and 9, 6:05 left to go in the third quarter. Breaking from the huddle is the Rebels. A tight bunched formation to the right side of the line. A single receiver out to the left. And Davis in the backfield now, back in at running back. They'll send a man in motion. They'll turn. They'll fake the handoff to Davis. Here comes the pressure. They've got a man. And Manu almost intercepts it as he jumps up in front of the receiver, but overthrown. Otherwise, that would have been an interception for Manu, and Scott may have been off to the races.
Yeah, would have reminded you of Jordan Harris a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm. Third and 9. Can the Tornadoes get a stop here? If they do, is it field goal territory for the Rebels? We'll find out here in a moment. Got to make the stop. It's a trips formation to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Will Jones gets the play call from the sideline, calls out to the line. Now we'll drop back and get ready for the play. Tornadoes have got to put pressure on Jones, a great quarterback who can dissect a defense. They'll bring a little, he'll roll out to his right, he'll throw it down the field. Manu coming down, and Scott, he jumped a little early. Receiver almost had it in the breadbasket. He just dropped it right through his hands.
Yeah, and like we talked about earlier, sometimes that defender just making that motion in front can be distracting to the receiver.
Putting it where only his guy could get it. A great throw by Will Jones, just unable to bring down the catch. It was intended for Casey Cobble. So it'll be 4th down, and we'll find out about this kicker, as we mentioned a moment ago, is now he's back to kick the field goal.
And blocked by ALCOA.
Tornadoes get the block, and now it's time for the offense.
So Maryville blocks an extra point of ALCOA as ALCOA returns the favor and one-ups him by blocking a field goal. So now a good opportunity for ALCOA to use that momentum, get down the field, put some points on the board.
Scott, a field goal that's blocked by none other than Jameer Turner. He had a block in the Bearden game.
Yeah.
He has a block tonight. I think it actually may even be his third block of the season. He's come up clutch throughout the year. And Scott, he came over fired up, trying to get the crowd, trying to get the team going and reignite this team. Let's see if they can take this energy and do something with it. 5.5 to go in the third. Graf sends a man in motion, fakes. Here comes the play, and he gets slammed to the turf as a good blitzed play by number 44, Jonah Arms, and a huge sack for the Rebels.
There was a hole somewhere in that offensive line because he came through that with nobody. Eli had no chance whatsoever to do anything with that ball.
So now it's going to be second and forever for the Alcoa Tornadoes.
And that's why Maryville needed to slow down the momentum right now, but Alcoa's got to do something with this.
So second and 21, the Tornadoes will have to adjust. Let's see what they call here. Trips to the right, two receivers to the left. The snap, Graf on a keeper. Graf bouncing to the outside, gets past one. Got a blocker ahead, back to the sideline. Graf's got a first down and is escorted out of bounds, but he picks up over 20 yards and the Tornadoes back in business.
Definitely a good call right there and something that Alcoa needed, as Maryville had looked like they were starting to slow down Alcoa's momentum with that 11-yard sack, but who answers the call but one and only Mr. Graf. Yeah.
Well, and what a play by Eli after Maryville had a huge sack, backed Alcoa way up, and Graf makes a beautiful run to the outside. So a first down for the Tornadoes. They send a man in motion. They'll fake the handoff. Almost got him again. This time Graf rolls out. He's got an open man. The catch is made. Jacoby Cooper is in the end zone. Touchdown, Tornadoes.
And this time Alcoa got their receiver behind Maryville. And Eli put it, like you said, where nobody else could get it.
Well, and Scott, Maryville tried the same thing they did earlier. They sent Jonah Arms on a blitz. He had Graf, and Graf waiting for him, was able to kind of olay him, roll to the outside, stay poised, and deliver a throw that was gorgeous. Jacoby Cooper falls under it, makes the grab, and then is able to outrace the Rebel defense and score. Alcoa needed that, but give so much credit to Jameer Turner for igniting this team and the offense taking advantage. This extra point is not blocked. It is good, and the Tornadoes now lead 16-14.
Now you've got the Alcoa side ignited. Get the defense come back out, get a good hold, let the offense get back out there.
Here's the thing, Scott. Very exciting for the Tornadoes, but with 4:25 left to go in the third, this game is far from over. So you've got to remind your team, hey, that was excellent on both sides of the football. Now let's continue this moving ahead and continue to do what we do.
Exactly, Heath. Just keep playing what you're doing. You know, this is one that right now Alcoa is still in the game. 16-14 lead here, 4:25 left in the third quarter. This game far from over. There's going to be a whole lot more excitement coming up than what we've seen so far, but what a great play for Alcoa to get the lead back from Maryville.
Scott, huge plays, won by Jameer Turner, doing what was needed by blocking the field goal. By blocking that field goal, he prevented this from being a two-score ball game, number one. Number two, Alcoa comes out. Maryville answers right back with a huge sack, and you would have thought, you saw the air come out of the room here. You saw on the other side the crowd pump thinking, we got him now. We're going to get the ball right back. And Eli Graf doing what he does. That's why I call him Easy E, because he's as cool as the other side of the pillow. Made a great play, got off blockers, followed. How about the receiver out here too, Scott? I believe it was Jameer Dean setting up that last block that allowed him to cut outside, get that last 6 yards or so, pick up the first down. And then what a play by the Tornadoes. And you hope now that has reignited this team fully, and this defense can come out even more energized, looking to take it to the Rebel offense.
Yeah, and the thing, though, that you mentioned this earlier here, too, was the fact that Maryville ran that blitz again coming up. This time Eli sidestepped him, got away from him and had time to get that ball down the field. I saw Coach Nix was one of the linemen earlier after all that, talking to him, just kind of make sure he's getting the right assignment there.
Yeah, because it's kind of one of those things where you're really excited about the play and it worked out, but you got some things to work on. And you get over to the sidelines.
Well, and it happened almost 2 out of 3 plays.
Yeah, and so you have to say, hey, listen, it worked out for us this time, but it's not going to always happen that way the rest of this game if we don't fix it. So getting on the field, talking to these players, making those adjustments. These coaches are constantly locked in on adjustments to win ball games and do whatever necessary. Those little things is what make all the difference. This is booted away. This one will be returnable. And trying to find an opening and now cutting to the outside in a shoestring tackle by the Tornadoes. That was number 1, Malik McLeod. Scott, that has to feel good as well for Malik McLeod. Malik McLeod on the wrong end of a tough play earlier today. Right there, a great play for him to be able to kind of get back on the right side of things.
Yeah, for some of the old school guys, that earlier play that he had reminded me of Bill Bates meeting for the first time Herschel Walker.
But great job, Malik. Great tackle. Back up the Rebels now. It's at the 16-yard line here on first down. Davis in the backfield with Jones. He'll turn, fake the handoff, throw it outside. They've got a screen set up, and he will pick up a first down. Jones comes over, and Darius Sutterth as well to help him make the tackle. Sutterth tried to rip it away from him, couldn't quite get the ball, but it will help the Rebels get out away from their own end zone and put the ball at the 30.
Yeah, Jones getting a little bit more comfortable on some of his passes.
Under 4 minutes we go here in the third. They'll turn, they'll hand it off to Parker Davis. Parker Davis tackled by Darius Sutterth. Sutterth's got another one of these sophomores for the Tornadoes with a really bright future, already starting on defense right beside Eli Owens. And we had the pleasure of speaking with him at Tornado Live. A very intelligent young man and a bright future for him.
And a singer, too.
That's right. 2nd and 7. Will Jones turns, looks to the sidelines. Coach Hunt calls out the adjustment. The Rebels have a bunched formation of 2 receivers bunched near the line on the right side. They've got a trips to the left and a running back in the backfield. He'll drop back. Here's some pressure. He throws it down the field. And good defense as trying to extend his arms but not able to make the play was number 21, Hudson Jamerson. But Scott, defended well by the freshman linebacker. Man Henry able to stay with Jamerson down the field and not allow him to make that catch.
Yeah, good defense, making it difficult as possible. But now you've got 3rd down and about 7. And the Alcoa crowd getting rowdy up here. You can hear them stomping and hollering for some defense.
A huge 3rd down play. Can the Tornadoes get the ball back with the lead and then try to add on? Or can the Rebels get a first down? See what the Tornadoes do here. Got to bring some pressure, and they do. The throw is going to be down the field. Staying with him is DeBose. And the catch is made. Wow.
That was a good catch.
That was a great catch. DeBose was all over him, but somehow staying focused and making the grab was Britton Barrett, the wide receiver for the Rebels, and a huge first down for Maryville that flips the field.
Yeah, and something you got to do, and it's something that defenders don't always think about. You're reading the receiver's eyes, and you're going to see him looking out for the ball, but you also got to know where that ball is, because that ball just went right over his shoulder. If he had been able to get his hands up and flip that, he would have knocked it down.
Yeah, Britton Barrett with a big reception, and now the Rebels trying to get their momentum going as they hand it off to Parker Davis. It looked like the ball was loose, but I don't see any change of direction, so it looks like it will stay with the Rebels. It'll be 2nd down. So it's going to be 2nd and 3 now. Rebels hurry to the line. New running back, Vananda Walker, in the backfield. They'll hand it off to him, trying to take his feet out from under him, but missing. But the rest of the Tornadoes there to make the tackle.
Yeah, Alcoa looked like they had him stopped there, and he tried to spin and move. Alcoa still hanging on to him, just slammed him to the ground.
So 3rd and short now for Maryville.
Again, still watch for that little play that they did the touchdown on earlier.
Yeah, all games so far, it's been the pass. That's been the difficult part for Alcoa. The running game, Alcoa's been able to bottle up for the most part. They send Faust in motion closer to the line. They'll turn. They'll fake the handoff, rolling out and overthrowing him. Scott, they did run the play like you talked about. This time, though, that pressure causing Jones to try to put a little more air under it and get it away from the tipped arms. And because of that, he overthrows his receiver. So in doing so, 4th and short, and now the Rebels will have to kick a field goal. Last field goal was blocked by Jameer Turner. Can he do it again? If the Rebels hit it, they'll take a 1-point lead. It's Hudson Jamerson back to kick. They flip the script, try to set up better blocking. There's the kick, and this one looks like it's through, and it is. So the Rebels move down the field and look to the answer. Alcoa bends, they don't break and allow them to get into the end zone, but they do give up a field goal. So with the field goal, 17-16 now your score. The Rebels with a 1-point lead with 1:04 left to go in the 3rd.
Good defensive stand for Alcoa, even though just giving it 3 in the lead, it could have been worse the way Maryville was starting to get that ball down there. So still playing tough, still playing hard. Like to see that.
Well, and a couple times on that possession, Scott, they got him to 3rd down situations. That 3rd and 7 back on the other side of the field. If Alcoa's defensive back had just been able to get his head turned around, he might have been able to make a play on the ball as close as he was to the receiver. But instead, it sneaks over his helmet. The receiver makes the catch and set up Maryville for that field goal. So 17-16 your score. The Rebels getting ready to kick it away. It's Dubose, it's Graff, it's Dean back to receive. Now, Scott, the last time they sent it a little short and Graff was able to return it, but it wasn't a great return. Maryville was able to do a better job of bottling up Graff. I almost wonder if they kick it that way again. You don't move out of the way, take the touchback, and get yourself good field position.
He's had some good returns. I'd still take my chances.
I mean, true, 9 out of 10 times Graff's going to have a killer return.
Go with percentages.
Kicks away. There's Graff, but this one will go into the end zone over his head, so it will be a touchback. Now the Tornadoes will take over on offense. Here the Tornadoes offensive line keeping an eye out for number 44 of the Rebels. That is Jonah Arms, as he got in the backfield a few times in that last drive, and luckily Eli Graff was able to have the wherewithal to move out of the way and then make a good throw. But you know he's going to come right back again. 1st and 10. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. It is Micah Jones in that backfield, and it's Micah Jones on the carry. A good block, and Jones at the 2nd level and a 1st down.
And that's what you want to continue to see to Alcoa. Just continue to pound the Maryville line, wear them down the best you can, and continue to get those yardage.
Eli Owens, Scott, with another seal block on that outside past the tackle that allowed Jones to be able to spring that one forward for that gain. So 1st and 10 for Alcoa, and we're 40 seconds away from the end of the 3rd quarter as that clock continues to tick. Cooper and Abu Hanya out to the right, Dean out to the left, and Owens split off to the left side of the line. Hand off to Jones. Jones pushing ahead, the line trying to push with him, but getting through. It looks like it's Arms on the play. Nope, that's actually 43. Zach Hippel on
That'll
the tackle.
be about a gain of, they're going to give him 2. Looked like he got 3 earlier, but they're going to give him 2.
And the
So
Tornadoes
we're coming
are
to the end of the 3rd, Heath.
Yep, they're going to let that one roll. And so we'll move to the 4th quarter, 2nd and 8. When we come back, Alcoa and the Rebels in a thriller as usual. The Rebels up 17-16 with 1 quarter to determine who's going to be the champion of the 96th Battle of Pistol Creek. We'll find out here in a moment, and we'll be back then.
Oh, look, both student sections.
Maryville High School. Congratulations to Maryville High School. Receiving the award from the Army will be Maryville's cheerleaders. It was a close battle all night with great efforts from both sides. So give yourselves a round of applause. Fans, tonight's contest between Maryville and Alcoa High Schools has been designated as a featured game in the nationwide 2024 Great American Rivalry Series. We wish to thank the United States Army and Greenbox for selecting this game as a part of this exciting series. ScoreStream is America's largest fan-driven sports sharing platform. You can download the ScoreStream app to share scores, photos, and videos from the game. And at the conclusion of this game, be sure to stick around for the Great American Rivalry Series Most Valuable Player Award and the Championship Trophy presentation.
Pass.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to see. I couldn't tell who he was throwing the flag on.
Yeah, it looks like the receiver of there pointed like it was on the Rebels, so I wonder if it's a face mask because Graff, as he was evading a defender, did kind of turn awkwardly. Let's hope it's not a hold. Still waiting for the call here.
Yeah, personal foul, face mask. So it'll be an extra 15 yards and a first down for Alcoa.
So on 2nd and 8, if you missed it, Eli Graff for the quarterback keeper to the left side, a face mask penalty. And so now we'll move the football ahead. Down to the 39.
After the penalty, it's 1st and 10 Alcoa at the 39.
Tornadoes break the huddle. It's Micah Jones in the backfield. Cooper and Abuhanya off to the left. Dean off to the left. Dean to the left. Abuhanya and Cooper to the right. The snap, the fake handoff. Graff will drop back and look down the field. He's looking to launch this one. He's got Dean, and
Just over his head.
A couple yards ahead of Jameer Dean. He had a few steps, Scott, just a touch too far ahead of him.
Yeah, and going through on the right-hand side over here and cutting a little bit towards the middle, Abuhanya was open there just a little bit, but you had your receiver behind the defense. You got to at least make an effort for that one.
Well, the thing is, too, Scott, a lot of times they put Jameer Dean in single-man situations. They know how talented he is, and if they could get those opportunities, they try to take them. As they'll hand it off, this time to Micah Jones. Micah Jones bounces to the outside, bounces right back in and pushes forward. It's going to bring up 3rd down, 3rd and medium, I believe.
So it looks like it's going to be about 3rd and 6 from about the 35 of Maryville.
So 3rd and 6. This one will be a handoff to Jones. Jones ahead, and I don't think he got it.
No, he's going to be just
he got tripped
tad
up.
Short.
He had an opening, and had he been able to stay on his feet, he would have gotten the first down. He got tripped up, however, and it's now going to be 4th and around 2. Graff will come over to the side, get the play call, and Scott, they're going to take out Jones, bring in Cherry, and the Tornadoes are going to go for it.
Yeah, I'd look for Graff to keep the ball on this one. Maryville's going to pull their defense up close, looking for a run.
Trying to get the Rebels to jump. They do not. Alcoa's got a bunch trip set on the right side of the line. Dean split off to the left side. Incoming is pressure, and Graff will keep. He'll bust to the outside, and he's not going to get it. He loses the ball. Down. And the Tornadoes pick it up, but the Rebels immediately tackle him as soon as he grabs it. It's a turnover on downs, and it's now Rebel football.
Yeah, I just had the feeling when they put Cherry in that Graff was going to be the one keeping it.
Yeah.
I would have kept Jones in there on that play. Just that way you have 2 guys that are very powerful and able to get the ball down there.
Yeah, just a good read by the Rebel defense. You saw the linebackers coming up, moving their D-line over when Alcoa got set up the way they did. That's a formation Alcoa likes to run that quarterback keeper out of. Not many people, though, have been able to stop it, and Alcoa had a lot of faith there with 2 yards away thinking they could get it, and unfortunately the Rebels made a great play. But now you call on your defense again to come up clutch as they hand the football off to Parker Davis. Davis breaks through. He'll get past another, and he'll force himself ahead for a first down. Good run by Parker. A couple of times he should have been stopped, but churning and burning and pushing ahead for a Rebel first down.
Yeah, and about 12 yards. That's probably about the biggest run he's had on this night.
So the Rebels break the huddle. It's Davis in the backfield with Jones. Jones in the pistol. Some confusion on the play as the receivers turn and look out to make sure they've got the call. Faust gets in motion. Now to the left side. He'll turn and hand it off. And no, they fake the handoff, throw it to the outside, and complete it to Jamerson. A good fake as the team was looking at Parker Davis. Jamerson wide open out here on the outside. Quarterback delivered a good ball, and Jamerson picks up good yardage on first down. It's now going to bring up 2nd and 3.
Yeah, that's where the linebackers still got to keep an eye out for that either the running back or the receiver sneaking out just a little bit.
Adjustments from the sideline. The snap to Jones. The handoff to Davis. Davis, no hole there, and it's Eli Owens. Jameer Turner right there on one side, Owens on the other, and Owens wraps up Davis for a loss. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5. A loss of 2 on the play.
A very important 3rd down right here for Alcoa. I need a big stop right here. Force Maryville to have to punt.
Alcoa gets the call from the side, sets up their defense. A little bit of confusion calling things out to their team. Rebels confused as well, looking for some adjustments from the sidelines. There's the snap, a low one. Davis looking down the field. Now Jones has to run for it. Ball is loose. Tornadoes, do they have it? Yes, they do.
They do. I thought he dropped it when he was trying to scoop it.
He almost did, but Micah Jones scoops it up, flips over, and makes sure that thing is tucked nice and tight. It's Tornado football.
And a bullet dodged right there from Alcoa as it looked like Jones was going to have the first down. A good hit, and they returned the favor from earlier by fumbling the ball, giving it back to Alcoa.
What a play, as Scott Will Jones had the Rebels a first down, and just a good hit by the Tornadoes dislodged the football and gave the Alcoa Tornadoes new life. So back at it goes the offense. A handoff to Condis Cherry. Cherry up the middle. Cherry breaks a tackle. Cherry gets to the 40. Cherry breaks another tackle. Cherry tackled near the 30. Condis Cherry, who for the most part was bottled up in the first half, explodes for a huge run there.
Yeah, and importantly, too, though, the first time around he had it, he fumbled. This time he kept that ball secure, even as he was getting hit multiple times from Maryville defenders, able to keep his balance and get down the field.
It almost felt like the Rebel defenders were maybe focused on trying to get it out of his hands versus making the tackle, and allowed him to keep bouncing off and going. 1st and 10 for Alcoa. Can they get in field goal range or score a touchdown? Graff on the keeper. Graff trips up, falls forward. It'll be 2nd down. So a keeper by Eli Graff. He went right into the middle of that defense, and someone got a shoestring and held on as he fell forward. It's only a couple on the gain. It's going to be 2nd and I believe 7. So 2nd and 7 is what the board says. It's what we're going to go with. A 3-yard gain for Graff. Cooper and Abuhanya to the left, Dean to the right. Cherry still in the backfield. Cherry with the carry. Cherry felt some pressure. Now he'll bounce it out to the other side. There goes Condis Cherry. He won't get much, but Scott, he saved himself from losing 2 or 3 yards.
Yeah, basically about a 5 or 6 yard gain right there, even though it was only about 2. That he, like you said, he was going to be wrapped up back there in the backfield, turned it around quickly and got away. And we have a defender down on the field.
So an injury by the Rebels. But yeah, Condis Cherry, a handoff to the left. He saw there was nowhere to run. He turned around the opposite direction to see what he had, and quarterback Eli Graff noticed, and he ran ahead and laid out a block for him to allow him to try to push through and push ahead. He gained a couple on the play. It's now 3rd and 5 for Alcoa. Timeout on the field as they're assessing the injury. That's number 9 for the Rebels. David Crawford, the linebacker. Crawford, another one of those big playmakers for Maryville, so a crucial loss for them. And Scott, now decision time on 3rd and 5 for Alcoa. Do you look to go to the air here, or do you continue to ground and pound and see if you can pick it up? Last time Alcoa got in this situation, by the way, that 4th and short that got stopped. So do you go to that again, or do you think maybe this time maybe roll Eli Graff out, give him the option, throw it, pass it, or throw it, run it, excuse me.
Run pass option.
Run pass option, okay. Trying to take a look here. I believe I had him as one of my key playmakers for Maryville. I did. David Crawford, who went out of the game. Crawford, 30 tackles this season, 6 tackles for loss, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble. So he's made a lot of plays for the Rebels this season. They're certainly going to miss him on the field if he's not able to come back out. Hope he is okay. Looks like he's kind of bent down on a knee over there, or crouched down as they're still talking to him, checking on him. We'll see if he stays out of the game or if he stays in. But Scott, with 6:13 left to go, this really feels like a pivotal moment here in the 4th. At the very least, you want to get yourselves, I'd say, another 5 to 10 yards ahead, at least in field goal range, but a touchdown could be huge.
Yeah, a touchdown would be extremely huge. But, again, if you can get in that field goal range, the thing is as long as you're running the ball, you're still keeping that clock moving. Because, like I said earlier, this game's probably going to come down to the final moments.
Yeah. Here's a question for you, Scott. If you score the touchdown, do you go for 2 to make it a 7-point game?
I would, because
just in case they do score.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't get it, you're still up by 5. So, yeah, I would go for it as well. But you got to get there first. And back from the timeout, it's 3rd down. A fake handoff, a turn and throw. Caught by Jameer Dean for the first down. Jameer Dean gets past the sticks and then taken out of bounds. Great catch by Jameer. So, Scott, they weren't able to find him on a deep pattern, but they were able to find him on that quick throw by Graff, faking the handoff. Dean setting up right where he needed to in front of the defender, and Graff delivered a beautiful ball.
Yeah, Dean on the catch.
And now Tornadoes are in field goal range at the 15, but we'd love to see a touchdown. First down. Scott, Jameer Turner also in the game for ALCOA. They'll turn, they'll hand it off to Jones. Jones up the middle. ALCOA pushing him forward. Rebels now pushing him back. So that is where he'll be stopped. It will be second down. But they brought a little more beef in on the offense. As Turner, who played tackle last season, but has spent a majority of this season on the defensive side of the ball. Looks like ALCOA brought him in as an additional tackler, or additional lineman to help out. And that was sophomore Marley Flats, who was down for a moment. He's up, he's okay. Fun little fact here, Scott, that I believe I found out before the year started. Marley Flats is a relative of Jordan Harris. And excuse me, Marley Watts. I'm sorry, Marley Watts, but he's a relative of Jordan Harris.
A good guy to be a relative of.
Absolutely. 2nd and 7. Quarterback keeper to the right side. Greff, ahead he goes. And I believe it's a third down. I don't think he got the first, but he did gain positive yardage. See where they mark it.
Looks like it's going to be
again, tough angle for
third
us.
And 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3 here based on what we're seeing.
Well, definitely 3. I'm just making sure it's not 4.
Well, let's hope it's not 4. .445. Counting down off the clock. It's 3rd and 3 for ALCOA. No matter what happens here, you got to hold on to the football. We'll turn, fake the handoff. Look, a fake pass. Greff's going to take it. Greff's going to go. He's in the end zone.
Yes.
Touchdown, ALCOA.
Smart move right there. He saw that he had no one what he wanted on the initial. Saw it open up on the right-hand side and took it in for the score. But again, ALCOA only up by 5 right now. So, like I said earlier, the extra point on the kick would only put you up by 6. You could still lose that to a touchdown and extra point. 2 is going to have to force Maryville to score the touchdown.
Gotta get it. Gotta get it. Jameer Turner comes out now. Man, what a playmaker he's been. I'm so happy for Jameer. He's had such a great game. This one was important to him, and he has made it count. So has Eli Graff, coming up with the clutch play and the touchdown. Now going for 2. It's a quarterback keeper. Eli Graff bouncing off defenders. He escapes another tackle. He's in. Wow. How did he do that?
He's Eli Graff.
Easy.
I don't think I'd say anything else. Hey.
Easy. Making things look easy. Wow. He was bunched up, Scott. When he ran that to the left, they pushed the line backwards. You saw him kind of moving the wrong direction and trying to just find an opening. Cut a little bit here, a little bit there, and then a guy came up to make the tackle. He somehow shed it, and once he did, he had that open space on that left-hand side, and he finished it off. Huge play. It's 24-17. Your Tornadoes are now up 7 with 4.5 left to go, and now going back to that defense who has been stellar all night and ask them to make another stop. Both Scott, also the Rebels with 3 timeouts, the Tornadoes with 2. We'll see how pivotal that will be here in the final few minutes of the game.
And he's a very important defensive series for ALCOA coming up here once they get the ball, or once they stop Maryville on this kickoff. But I think if you can hold them a series, you can run this clock out.
Since the first half, the Tornadoes have only given up a field goal so far here in the last 2 quarters of the ball game. This one is returnable. Got to stop him. He runs right into the thick of things. Kind of surprised he didn't bounce it outside, and Tornadoes were waiting for him. Tackle made, and now here comes the ALCOA defense and the Rebel offense with 4:21 left to go. It is a 7-point game, and your ALCOA Tornadoes are on top. Single receiver to the right, 2 to the left. Davis in the backfield. The snap, it's going to be a fake, and now they're going to throw it. They're going to complete it to Faust. And Faust
Gotta
pushes
take him
ahead.
down, guys.
He escapes tacklers, but Darius Sutter, Scott, pursuing the play, is able to make it. And that's a crucial tackle because had not those linebackers been pursuing that after he got past the DBs, that would have been 6.
Yeah, and the DBs just tried to sling him down. You can't do that. You got to make sure this guy's tackled and wrapped up.
So the Rebels trying to get the ball out quickly. The Tornadoes starting to bring some pressure. We'll see if the Rebels do that again or try to drop back and sling one down the field. Jones calls out the adjustment.
Defense trying to call for some noise too.
They'll turn, they'll pitch it outside to Davis. Davis with a room to run and a first down. He'll get past the sticks and out of bounds at the 45. So the Rebels right now on the first 2 plays moving the ball quickly and methodically down the field. 3:42 left to go.
The only thing, Heath, too, though, is if you move it too fast, you give ALCOA a lot of time to come back on you.
Here's some pressure. There's the handoff to Davis. Davis stopped by Jameer Turner. Jameer Turner almost jumped over the lineman to make sure he got a paw on him. And also give credit, who was that at the bottom of that? That was number 24 for ALCOA, Cade Stinnett. So Stinnett kind of grabbed him from the bottom. Turner grabbed him from the top, and it's 2nd and 9.
Yeah, Stinnett had a good hold on his feet. He wasn't going anywhere.
So far tonight, I don't know who's the player of the game more, Jameer Turner or Eli Graff. 2nd and 9 we go. There's the snap. There's the fake handoff, and it's going to be a quarterback keeper. Quarterback ahead. Turner and a few others bring him down. It's 3rd down.
Looks like we're looking at about 3rd and 5 right now. But this is going to be 2-down territory for the Rebels as well.
Third and 5. Like Scott said, this is more than likely 2-down territory because you're running out of time. 2:37 left to go in the ball game. Jones calling out the adjustments to his offensive line. He'll now back up with the pistol with Davis behind him. 3 receivers to the right. I'd watch out for that screen. They like to go to it. And now instead it's going to be Davis on the carry. Davis ahead. Davis will be stopped. It's 4th down. And there's a flag.
A little bit of activity on the back end. I wonder if they're going to call unsportsmanlike on ALCOA. There was, like I said, some extracurricular back there.
Yeah, it looks like some back and forth between the 2 teams.
Yeah, DeBose.
Like they always say, Scott, it's usually the player that last makes it that gets the call. So,
but you also just gave Maryville a first down.
You gave them a first down, and you put them, I believe, in the red zone.
Yeah. Or just outside it, if they count it off right.
And the Tornadoes making some adjustments. Looks like they may be anticipating a pass as they take out Stinnett. They put Jameer Dean in as safety. So Dean and Micah Jones back there to cover. They'll put the ball at the 22, I believe. So 1st and 10, ball at the 22, 2:15 left to go. Clock ticking away. 2:05 now and counting. They'll send a man in motion. That's Hudson Jamerson moving to the left side of the line. The snap, the handoff to Davis. Davis has got a hole in the right side, and there goes Davis. Davis ahead, Scott, and he'll be tackled at the 7, I believe, 7 or 8. I thought he was going to score, and Tornado somehow stopped
Looks like
him.
he's at the 8-yard line. But they loaded to look like they're going to the left-hand side, and he just does a counter and goes right. And has a whole bunch of green in front of him as he does.
Great run. 1:40 left to go. You start thinking about timeouts here?
No. If you're Maryville, maybe, not ALCOA.
They'll turn. They'll hand it off to Davis. Davis is stopped. A yard gain, if that, but a good play by the Tornado defense.
Maryville will run it again, try to get a little closer. And then I'd watch that play again that they used on the third down earlier.
Another substitution. They'll bring Condis Cherry out. They'll insert Blair Goodson on the defensive line. Nope, it's not Cherry they wanted. They're calling for someone else to get off the field. And looks like Blair Goodson coming right back off. Second down. A bunch set and a handoff. It's Davis and a tackle by Eli Owens.
Yeah, you saw Eli coming around that corner real fast.
And just Superman leaped and grabbed Davis and slammed him down from behind. Davis had no clue he was coming. It's third down, and it's a timeout for the Rebels because it's now 38.5 seconds left to go, and the Rebels got to score.
That they do.
4-down territory. 3rd and 4, 4 yards away from the end zone. You couldn't really dial up a Pistol Creek battle better than this.
No, you couldn't. This is good.
Every game over the last few years we've talked about it has really gone down to those final
minutes. They say the last 2 years have just been just huge, and then this one, nothing different. This is a typical battle of Pistol Creek.
Timeouts right now is both teams trying to find the right plays to call to come away with this one. Now, granted, it's a 7-point game, so if the Rebels score, they either kick an extra point and tie it and potentially go to overtime, excuse me, or they go for 2 and try to win it like Bearden tried to do. If they're stopped, that's your game. 2 plays potentially to determine that, as it is 3rd and 4. No more first downs left. You got to score or you're done.
And Maryville, I thought Maryville called timeout. They still haven't taken that timeout away yet. So Maryville, I think, should have just have 2 timeouts.
Should be 2 and 2. But here we go. And Scott, I'd watch out for Jamerson sneaking out like you did earlier because he's hiding behind the line. The snap, the handoff, and he's tackled again.
What a hit.
Eli Owens right there waiting for him.
And Mr. Player of the game last week is shown up again today as well.
It is 4th down. And we've got another timeout on the field. And it all comes down to this.
And like you said earlier, watch him sneak the guy out from the backfield near the line and just cut across. You got to keep an eye on him because those are the easiest plays because everyone's looking for the run.
It's such a tough thing to do.
Yeah, it
because
really is.
You've got to do 2 things, right? You've got to stop this playmaker in Parker Davis from punching through the line, but you've also got to be keeping your eyes out for that guy sneaking out of the backfield. Will Jones rolling out and delivering that ball to him. He did it the first time. They tried it again later in the game, and ALCOA was able to get to him enough that he had to overthrow him trying to get it over their hands. This time, it's close proximity. Let's see what they call. But I'm with you, Scott. I think it's one of those 2 plays here. Fourth down, we're back from the timeout. 32.3 seconds left to go. It comes down to this.
And Alcoa calls timeout now.
So Coach Nix sees what Maryville wants to dial up, and now he knows how to make his adjustment. Now it's that chess game. If you're Maryville, do you go over to the sidelines and go, okay, now we're going to do this? Or do you say, no, this is what's working, we're going to stay with it, and we're going to dare you to stop it? And Alcoa's got to decide, okay, here's how we're going to handle it. That chess game, back and forth, who's going to come out on top?
Well, in just a few moments, we'll find out. Or we'll find out we're going to a tie.
Into overtime. I'd rather the first option.
Me too. But keep in mind, this is something to think about too. Last 2 years, who won the game?
The visiting team.
Yes.
Also on top of that, Scott, we talked about it earlier, but there's been a lot of chatter this week, and there's been a lot of predictions that haven't worked out Alcoa's way. What better way to silence all the haters than coming away with this one?
I'd love to get mine right.
All right, we're back again. One timeout apiece left. Will they take it? I don't think so. It looks like they're going to go for it here. So here we go. Davis to the right of Jones. Jones splits out Jamerson in motion. He'll drop back. He'll look that way. He's got some pressure. He'll throw it to the right. It's incomplete.
Yes!
There's 27.6 seconds left to go. But, folks, the Rebels have one timeout left, and it's tornado football.
And look at this, too, Heath. Even if he had caught it, he was still around the 4-yard line, and a swarm of Alcoa players coming up on him. It would have been really hard for him to get to the end zone.
Wow, Scott, they tried to drop him back. They looked to the left. The Rebels, the Tornadoes, covered it perfectly. He then had to turn to his right and try to deliver that ball, and the Tornadoes covered well. They didn't just anticipate the run. Like you said, they did what they needed to do. They watched out for them.
Something else, too.
Yeah.
Keep this in mind. Alcoa committed no pass interferences.
Well, you know what they also didn't do? They didn't get any personal fouls for celebration. You know why? Coach Nix ran out there like, get over here. Get over here. He saw what happened at Bearden. He didn't want the same mistake. Eli Graff on the keeper. Graff ahead. Timeout Rebels. 21.9 seconds left to go.
But you push the ball up forward just enough now that all you got to do is go into victory formation and a quick drop. You don't have to go anywhere. Just put it down and say, let's go home with this.
Yeah, nothing fancy. Take a knee, don't get in the end zone, and let's call it. Wow.
Well, as I told you earlier, I posted that Alcoa was coming in here to give Maryville their first loss. And this is exactly what's fixing to happen. Barring any weird things happening.
I'm still nervous with 21.9 seconds left to go.
Yeah, but at least you're not running back and forth like you were 2 years ago.
There's no room up here this time. I can't do that, and I'm losing my voice. I apologize, but, man, this game. And, Scott, on the other side of the field, the stands is starting to slowly empty as they can sense what's about to happen. Tornadoes break the huddle.
No timeouts for Maryville.
Graff will get it. He'll run ahead and slide down. The clock will roll. And here we go, folks. 15 seconds left. Clock is winding down.
Yes.
Tornadoes entering the field. 10 left to go. Clock continuing to roll. The 96th Battle of Pistol Creek goes to the Tornadoes. The clock will sound, and that's your ball game.
What a great, great game between Alcoa and Maryville. As I said before, always a classic game. Once again, the visitors win here, but they do it in tremendous, whatever you want to call it. It was just super fashion, just the way they played in the defensive stand. This time it wasn't a team scoring at the end to win it. It was a defensive stand that wins it.
Scott, it was the seniors that were sophomores 2 years ago when they watched it be possible on the Rebel field. They watched Jordan Harris get the interception, take it down the field, seal the ball game. They came back this year knowing, number one, it was possible, and two, wanting to make sure they wrapped up their senior year with another victory. This senior class, 2 dubs against the Rebels. How about that?
And how many teams can say, I got 2 wins against Maryville, and I've got, going into my senior year, 3 state championships?
Absolutely. There's not any around here that I know of, but how about them Tornadoes coming away with the victory, shocking a majority of the crowd out here tonight, but certainly not the maroon and aluminum, as they get the W, and now they'll get to go back home to the A with the Battle of Pistol Creek on their side of things. And so we're still here as Scott taking a look at the stats. Scott, we're going to have to in a minute, and I'm kind of looking over at my crew as they're celebrating on the field. we're going to think about a player of the game, and if possible, we'd love to get one up here. We may not be able to with the C that's on the field currently, but if we can get a player of the game up here, we will try to do so. Again, not sure if it's possible. We've got two different guys right now that I could see as being the player of the game. I think the one statistically you look at, Eli Graff, 7-12, 114 yards and a touchdown, 18 carries, 103 yards as well. He had 2 rushing touchdowns. He also had a 2-point conversion. I have a feeling he's probably potentially the one that's going to get this award. But if there was ever someone to be a runner-up if he doesn't get it, and I'm going to talk to the crew here in a moment, folks, but Scott helping out our stats crew, so he's got the headset off. But Jameer Turner, I mean, what a game by Jameer Turner. Jameer Turner not only with crucial blocks, good tackles, and just brought the juice for 4 straight quarters. He was coming over here, hyping up the crowd, trying to keep them locked in as well, made sure the team stayed up as well and didn't let down. And I think I also gave them some of what they needed to be able to finish this game. So we bring Scott back on the headset. And Scott, but Eli Graff, Jameer Turner. Eli Graff statistically did it all tonight. And so I can tell you why he would be the overwhelming favorite. But I just want to say, let's take a minute to think about how big Jameer Turner was in this game. A field goal block, some crucial tackles, really keeping everyone into this game. I thought he made some plays that shifted things for this Tornado team.
Possibly, but you look at Eli Graff, 262 total yards.
Yeah.
103 in rushing and about 160, I believe, in passing, or I'm sorry, 114. So we had a total of, and a kickoff return. So with the kickoff return, that's where it was. But still over 200 total yards offense. I have a hard time going anywhere other than Eli Graff, but I understand what you're talking about on the other side too.
Well, my other thing is this, and this is the only other reason. Eli Graff's probably going to win the Great American Rivalry Player of the Game. He's probably player of the game in most people's eyes. I'm not disputing he's a player of the game, period. But, man, Jameer was just so big tonight. And you've seen him make a couple plays here and there, but I just felt, man, he took over the game tonight in a lot of areas, made a huge impact. I mean, we could say that as well, even though it doesn't show up on the stat sheet as much for Eli Owens, but a lot of big blocks for him. So there's a lot of guys I think could be worthy of it. I saw Eli Graff a minute ago being interviewed by someone on the field. He's walking around now all hyped up. I'm going to see if maybe I can go possibly grab him. No, looks like, yeah, see, there's Great American Rivalry right now talking to him on the field. They're now presenting him with stuff and giving him his award. Eli Graff was also, before the game, Scott, honored from, they had one for Maryville, I think it was Andrew Smith, and then one for ALCOA, honored as the scholar athlete of the game. Right. So Eli won that before the game and got that honor. And now he's picking up all the other accolades, and he's certainly deserving of it. The senior did everything tonight. And here's the thing. I'll add on to that. I heard from any and everyone that was on the other side of this thing the same message. We have to stop Eli Graff, and we'll win the game. And they said, as long as we do that, we'll be fine. We'll take care of Eli. We'll win this game. Well, you know what? They didn't take care of Eli.
No, but they also were introduced to Micah Jones.
They were. Micah Jones, man, the sophomore running back, was huge tonight. And credit to Condis Cherry for the bounce back in the second half.
Yeah.
I thought he had a much better second half. I think about that play where he almost lost 3 or 4 yards, bounced it to the other side, got positive yardage. Again, if you want to talk player of the game, Eli Graff there to set up a block to allow that. I totally understand it. I can't dispute it.
Yeah.
But he
and even another one, as many defensive plays as he did as well, Eli Owens. You know, there's an argument for just about the entire team.
Yeah, unfortunately, we do not have that many plaques to give out. I was trying to see if I could find Eli Graff. I had him a moment ago, and they were were giving him the picture, but I lost him in the crowd. Trying to see if we can find him. If we can, maybe we can get him out here.
Well, they're going to do the presentation, and then the most valuable player presentation.
Well, I saw them take a picture with him. I didn't know if they were going to do any other announcements or presentations or not.
Here we go.
Okay. So, yeah, we turn you to the field right now as the Great American Rivalry Series is here, and they're congratulating the whole team, the Alcoa Tornadoes, on the victory. And you see a bunch of players now starting to wear those Great American Rivalry hats they're giving out.
So what a ball game, Heath.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, we came into this game knowing you had to do two things. You had to stop the wheels of Will Jones, and you had to stop Parker Davis because he had been running over everybody.
Right, and at halftime, he was just right around only 20 yards. I mean, that was incredible for the Tornadoes.
Yeah, they bottled him up and really forced Maryville to throw the football. And they had some success, but there were times where they didn't because Alcoa brought the pressure. Alcoa had some good coverage at times. This young DB crew is continuing to get better each and every week. And I'm looking down at the field now, just trying to survey it and still see if I can find him somewhere.
Which one are you looking for?
Looking for Graf. Okay, I see him way over there. Let me see if I can get him up here. I'm going to take off the headset. Scott, if you have the stats anywhere in a moment, if you want to read those off while I'm grabbing him.
Well, I'll go ahead and do some scoreboard updates.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be back in a moment if I can get him.
All right, and while I was doing that, let's take a look at some of the scores going around here. Let's see if we can get back over there to it, so bear with me just a minute. And here we go. All right, looking around the area. Unicoi County 48 over Chucky Doak. Chucky Doak is 0. That is a final. Science Hill 56-7 over Daniel Boone. Dobbins Bennett 41-7 over David Crockett. Gallenberg Pittman 45. Pigeon Ford 7. Again, these are all finals. Greenville 56-7 over Northview Academy. Right now, early in the third, it's showing Eagleton 28, Hampton 12. Happy Valley defeats Unaka 46-0. Jefferson County over Cott County 49-6. West Green falls to South Green 41-7. Saudi Daisy 17. They hang on to beat William Blount, who scored 14. Get back in the game there for them. Austin East over Union County 49-14. That is a final. Cleveland, looks like a great game going there. Cleveland defeated Bradley Central 14-13. Carter late in the fourth quarter hanging on as they lead Fulton right now 35-34. Anderson County 49-6 over Anderson County over Gibbs right now 49-6. Right now Knox Central all over Heritage in the third 35-10. Halls and West now a good game. West had an early lead. It is now 21-all between Halls and West. Again, Alcoa defeats Maryville 24-17. Harriman 28-13 in the third over Midway. Sweetwater 7-6 final over Polk County. Seymour 27, South Doyle 14. That is the final. Greenback defeats Sunbright 38-8. Big Men Central leading Telco Plains 12-6. York Institute all over Wartburg, final 60-0. Look and see if we see any others around here. Morristown East over Campbell County 19-12. East Ridge over Sequoia 34-0. Carnes leading, still showing half. I think it's probably past that now, but no update. Carnes 15, Clinton 6. Oak Ridge over Lenore City 17-7. Loudon defeats Signal Mountain 43-7. Sevier County over East Hamilton 29-0. Trying to look in some others. Powell defeating or leading McMinn County 21-0. Take a quick look on down here, just some that are a little bit closer to us, see what we have in Division 3 as well. Or Division 2, I'm sorry. Let's see who's close. Silverdale defeats, at the time, undefeated Grace Christian of Knoxville 44-22. So Grace receives their first loss. Boyd Buchanan 49-7 over Webb. Baylor leading NBA 20-14 at the half. Knox Catholic falls to McCallie, who is a really tough team, as they fall 38-7. Oneida leading the Kings Academy in the fourth quarter, 21-14. And I was trying to see if I saw that score on Webb from earlier. I think I may have said it already, but yeah, and that's about it right now. So a great game on Alcoa, between Alcoa and Maryville, as Alcoa wins the game 24-17 with a great defensive stand there late in the fourth quarter to hold on and then be able to run out the clock. But Maryville had gotten within around the 4-yard line, and Alcoa comes up to a big stand. But Heath has gone to check for somebody, see if he can get him up here. So if we can just take a break for just a couple of seconds, and we'll take a look, see if we see him anywhere, and see if we can get him up. Okay. Okay, yeah, they just faded out. Yeah, he's down there talking with one of them, trying to get somebody up here, but not really sure if he's going to be able to do it. Let's take a break for a couple of minutes. Let's see if he'll get back up here. If not, we'll go ahead and close this out here in just a few minutes. Hang with us. We'll be back in just a few. Exciting game, buddy. What'd you think? And that's what we've gone through for the last 2 years before this. So that way you get to wear your shirt. Oh, yeah, that's all right. I'll tell you. Drive safe. See you on Monday. Yeah. At Alcoa.
You were talking. I didn't want to interrupt you. You're doing the scores, but yeah. Yeah, we ran into him at the steps. So. Man, what a game. What a game. Just walk.
welcome back in here on the call, Scott, and try to fight the crowd and weave and bob through there, trying to look like Micah Jones a little bit, making moves throughout the crowd to grab Eli Graff. But Scott had a feeling he would be a popular man, and he certainly was, so unable to get him up on the call. Nonetheless, he was our player of the game, PrintFX player of the game, for his outstanding performance tonight. But so many Tornadoes making impacts tonight and coming away with this victory, a victory that many thought wouldn't be possible. But now, 2 out of the last 3 seasons, it's gone the Tornadoes' way.
Yeah, the way we're going right now, let's just keep playing here.
Absolutely. Tornadoes come out on top, and Scott have to bounce back pretty quickly as because of a rainout game when the weather was really bad here in the area a couple weeks ago. The Union County game got postponed to Monday, so they will be playing on Monday now against Union County. Have a feeling we'll see a lot of younger players in action, as a lot of our older guys really put out a lot on the line and are probably still going to be pretty banged up by the time Monday rolls around. But we'll see what the Tornadoes roll out. It will be at home, our only other home game of the season, before we get right back on the road and wrap things up at Kingston the following that Friday. So really,
you're looking at 3 games in 7 days, basically.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot, but the Tornadoes will be able to push through. So that'll be your next call here on the NFHS Network. Will be Monday as the Tornadoes take on Union. That game at 7 p.m. We'll be on the call, and we can't wait to bring it to you. Your final score, Alcoa 24, Maryville 17. I'm Heath Dunkel with Scott Dunkel, and until next time, so long, good night, and yes, that just happened.